Sharpton going at McDonald's, and of course, I know everybody heard about Hunter Biden and his paternity, his Maury paternity case going on as well too. So we gonna touch up on that tonight, man. I was trying to. There's so many different topics that we could talk about, and we will definitely be sharing that stuff this week as well too. But sometimes you just got to mix it in and mix it up as much as you can as well too. So it is what it is. What up, Professor? What up, Brother Moku? What's going on? What's up, Buffy? I see you just peeped your head up in here as well too. What up? What up? What up?
Yeah, how y'all doing, man? Yeah, Newstoter. Oh man, did y'all hear about the Four Tops lead singers suing the hospital and damn, I forgot what state. Man, they put him in a straitjacket when he said he was the lead singer of the Four Tops. He did it for a heart trouble. He couldn't breathe, and as soon as he said he the Four Tops, lead singer for the Four Tops, they straight put him in a straitjacket.
No, I ain't hear that. No, I ain't hear that, man. That's crazy. They put him in a straitjacket because he said he's the lead singer of the Four Tops.
Right? Like you insane, nigga. Nah, you ain't no lead singer for the Four Tops. Put his ass in the straitjacket. But his lawyer and him are asking for everyone in the staff that was involved to be fired, and he's suing. He said it's racism. Like, I was surprised to hear brother say it, but he said, yeah, it's racism. This is racism. So, shout out to the Four Tops.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that till you just put it on us. Just put some knowledge on us. So appreciate that. I definitely didn't hear that. Like, damn, that's crazy.
Hey, man, that's crazy. Yes, Lord, y'all. It's, Total, man, I tell you, man, with all the news that's going on right now, man, it's so much to talk about. I mean, it's just so much, y'all.
Yeah, you can't keep up. Like, I mean, it's hard, like I say, because you can only fit so much in the actual title, anyways. It's so much that we could cover, but I try to go ahead because you just certain times, like I'm going to talk about this today or whatever, and then something else pops up and stuff like that. So, like I said, with the one with autism yesterday, we was talking about. I had meant to cover that because April is Autism Awareness Month, and I with just having so many different things coming and stuff like that. So I kind of put that and kind of got lost in the shuffle. So which I definitely didn't want to do because I actually wanted to share my personal experience with my son on it. So but last night I think that we had a pretty good conversation on that and everything else as well too. But we're gonna touch up on some stuff, man. We gonna touch up on some stuff. Shout out to Dana. I see the real Dana up in here, original up in here, Goddess up in here. I see Thaddeus up in here as well too. So shout out to everybody that's coming up in the space. We're gonna get ready to start this thing up in just a second, y'all. We were just doing a little chit chat before we actually dig into the actual meat and potatoes of the actual Twitter space as well too. So it's good to hear everybody, like people come in and they tell us like, have you heard this? Have you heard that? And yeah, we can't keep up with all this stuff here.
You never like it. It's so funny, y'all, because I be tagging Total and stuff, but Total pretty much has already tweeted it out, but I just I'll tag him in it just in case. But he usually already don't hit the major points out there to the family.
Now, sometimes you do be hitting me with stuff too that I hadn't seen before, Professor. So let me just put that out there. Like some of the stuff, yeah, I'd already tweeted out, but some of the stuff I'm like, damn, I ain't even know it. But I get tagged in quite a bit of things as well too. So it's hard to go ahead and respond to everything. Shout out, I see Trouble and made it up in here as well too. So yeah, man, we can't. That's what I say. Everybody. Today's news cycle is different than what it was, let's just say 20 years ago with the internet. Like everybody now damn near is a news outlet. So like everybody has the ability to go ahead. Yeah.
I was just listening to your space. I was just listening to this space y'all had last night on autism, and I wanted to thank you for sharing your experience. I do have a few cousins in my family that suffer from autism. And I can say this, just having our newborn daughter, not getting, I've always been treated like it was punishment time when I went to the hospital. I have 8 children, and out of the 8 of them, 7 of them are not vaccinated. And every time I have not let them vaccinate my children at the hospital, it's always been like weird punishment treatment that I get from the doctors and physicians. And this particular time, having our daughter, we didn't allow them to do anything, like no vitamin K, none of it. And they were treating if it wasn't for my other wife being there with my first wife, and them just being together all the time, I really think that they would have tried some underhanded stuff. They already tried underhand stuff, like we had told them not to give our child any formula, because my wife was breastfeeding from the jump. She had milk before the baby was even, really born. Her milk started producing. And we found, or I caught them putting formula in the breast milk. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like for doing things natural, they try to punish you for doing things natural. And I just wanted to put that out there because I listened to your space last night, which was a very, very, very number one, A1 space last night. Thanks for that.
Oh, I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I was just sharing my experience, having a son on the spectrum as well too. So I just wanted to go ahead and share that. And it's something else, man. And we was talking about that space a couple of nights ago. We was talking about the actual throat cancer and oral sex and stuff like that. And they were saying that was linked to HPV. Not to get off topic, y'all, because we're going to go ahead and dig into tonight's conversation, but I just want to touch up on that. We were talking about HPV and the actual oral sex, and they recommend that you get your kids around anywhere from like 11 to 13, get them vaccinated with the actual HPV vaccine. So when I was taking my I think my oldest boy to the doctor, I said, because they always tell you like when they have shots coming up or whatever, and I was like, well, yeah, and I asked them about that HPV. I'm saying, do they I say, when are they scheduled to take an HPV vaccine? They're like, oh, he already took it. I'm like, damn, like I don't remember even I don't even remember okaying that. Now I can't remember if his mom may have took him or whatever, because we take turns taking them, but I'm like, damn, I don't remember like giving the green light on that. So you do have to be careful with these vaccines and with these doctors. I mean, if they feel like something is scheduled, whatever, they already have their itinerary set up. And if so-and-so is scheduled and you don't say something about it, they will definitely go ahead and give your kids these actual vaccines as well, too. So that's just for everybody in the know. I see more of our people coming in. So shout out to you guys as well. As well. I'm glad to have you up in the space.
Trouble, good to see your sister down there, all of y'all. Good to see everybody. These are some good topics, Total. And I have to say, like what Brother Muko said, thank you for last night, man, for sharing your experience with your son. And that was very powerful, man, and very important for all of us to hear from a personal perspective. So, yes, definitely thank you for sharing your own story. And that's very meaningful to everybody in this space.
Absolutely. And like I said, we put a few links in there for anybody that had a child on autism or has a family member or friend. Last night we put it in there, we tweeted it out. So definitely go ahead and try to use any service you can to further your child along with their development as well too. So guys, I'm not going to waste any time. I know y'all see the title. We got to touch up on TD Jakes and the partnership that they got with Wells Fargo. It's drawing some criticism from folks. So we'll go ahead and we'll talk about that. On one end, it could be a very positive thing. On the other end, you got a lot of people saying, well, we know about Wells Fargo history here. So we got to see it to believe it. And of course, Mickey D's, I know y'all saying, what the hell is going on with Mickey D's? For those that went in there, you got Al Sharpton. He's going in on with Mickey D's. Mickey D's, over the past few years have had all kind of lawsuits and discrimination and racial claims of bigotry and just people, franchisees being passed over as well. So we're going to talk about that. And of course, everybody, if you don't know Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, he's got this baby daddy drama like he could be the daddy on Maury. So we're going to touch up on that as well, too. We're gonna touch up on that, Ray. I'm gonna go ahead and let you get it in real quick. If it's about the topic, let me know, because then if not, we're gonna go ahead and I want to go ahead and cover it. I don't want to delay people too much, but go ahead real quick, Ray.
No, before we got on topic, I was gonna ask. I thought we were still freestyling. I wasn't sure if you were jumping in yet. I just wanted to add and ask, and I want to see about this AI. The next advancement is basically trying to work into some type of thing that can read your mind. The researchers in Austin, Texas, they've successfully created artificial intelligence system that can transfer a person's brain activity into a plain readable language. I just want to see if anyone heard about that.
I haven't, but we're gonna be touching up on the AI space up here coming up shortly as well too, because I got some stuff I want to touch up on with this whole AI stuff that's going on as well too. So yeah, we'll touch up on that in an upcoming space as well. Tammy, I'm gonna get to you, but let me go ahead real quick and let me jump on. I want to jump on I guess I'll jump on TD Jakes real quick.
I was just gonna say one thing to this AI. They're trying to use it in mental health.
Okay.
I can't get my phone off. Damn it.
All right. Thank you, Tammy. And let me go ahead up in the Jumbotron, guys. We have an article from Moguldom, and it's titled $1 billion Question. Will TD Jakes help Wells Fargo deflect racist history like Jay-Z helped the NFL? Mega church pastor and best-selling author Bishop TD Jakes has partnered up with financial giant Wells Fargo. While on the surface, a 10-year partnership aimed at promoting inclusive communities was seen groundbreaking, some are wondering if the deal was made to deflect from the big bank's racist history. Is the move by Wells Fargo similar to the deal the NFL made with the hip-hop mogul? When the league was getting backlash from blackballing former quarterback Colin Kaepernick over his silent kneeling to protest police brutality against black people, the NFL inked a deal in 2019 with Jay-Z's Roc Nation agency as the NFL's live music entertainment strategist, co-producing the Super Bowl halftime show and choosing who gets to perform. Through the collaboration with Jakes Group, which was announced on April 30th, Wells Fargo has committed up to $1 billion to fund a variety of projects that foster community development. The future looks very bleak, particularly for minorities, Jake said to CBS News. Black people, brown people, and also poor white people who are finding it difficult, workforce people to find a job, to find opportunities, to get housing, to get upward mobility. Jakes is a non-denominational Christian preacher. He is a senior pastor of the Potter's House, a non-denominational megachurch that rakes in $5.2 million annually. Jakes has an estimated net worth of $20 million. Wells Fargo & Company is a financial services company with approximately $1.9 trillion in assets, and the American company operates in 35 countries. The partnership with Wells Fargo is not affiliated with Jakes Church. The TD Jakes Group includes 4 business units, including TD Jakes Ministries and TD Jakes Foundation, both are nonprofit organizations. TD Jakes Enterprises and TD Jakes Real Estate Ventures function as profit-oriented entities. The inaugural project of Jakes' partnership with Wells Fargo centers around the development of mixed-income housing and retail facilities outside of Atlanta. The location for the venture is a 95-acre property formerly known as Fort McPherson, which neighbors Tyler Perry Studios, CBS News reported. The reason mixed-income housing is vitally important is because we tried low-income communities before and they fell into the abyss and became ghettos, Jake said. Mixed incomes have a much better result, safer, better schools, better opportunities, upward mobility. While the partnership will focus on helping low-income communities, some say it will not excuse Wells Fargo's racist history. There have been several racial discrimination lawsuits brought against the bank by Black customers, especially in regard to how it doles out mortgage loans. The most recent lawsuit is a class action lawsuit from last year that accuses the bank of discriminatory residential mortgage policies and lending practices against its Black customers, US Today reported. The lawsuit was filed on April 14th, 2022 in the Northern District of California. It charges that the bank approved more white borrowers for a mortgage loan compared to Black applicants in 2020. According to the suit, Black clients, including those with high credit scores, were given an average interest rate of 3.34% compared to 3.23% for the white borrowers. Plaintiffs, who are represented by attorney civil rights attorney Ben Crump, are seeking $5 million in damages. The lawsuit states, Linda Friedman and Suzanne Bish of Stonewall and Friedman in Chicago are co-counsel with Crump. Wells Fargo says its mission is helping customers succeed financially. Said Crump during the press conference, they're not helping Black Americans succeed financially when they engage in a pattern of practice of corporate behavior that denies financial opportunities to customers and charges more for the same services than they charge white customers. Wells Fargo denies a claim made in the lawsuit. We're deeply disturbed by allegations of discrimination that we believe do not stand up to scrutiny. We are confident that we follow relevant government-sponsored enterprise guidelines in our decision making and that our underwriting practices are consistently applied regardless of a customer's race or ethnicity, the bank said in the statement. The statement continued, these unfounded attacks on Wells Fargo stand in stark contrast to the company's significant and long-term commitment to closing the minority home ownership gap. Brother Muku, go ahead, you got it. Unmute your mic.
Well, I'm gonna say this little TD Jakes and Wells Fargo shit. I'm one of the ones that this will not excuse Wells Fargo's past racist fucking history. I feel like they're just trying to get TD Jakes' black ass face on here to say, hey, we fuck with TD Jakes, so we straight now. We ain't trying to fuck with black people now. And right, he ain't say no. He just willy nilly went on with it. Like, yo, I get so tired of seeing black people just saying not being a principled people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've seen this conglomerate of a fucking establishment, you know it's tied to racism. You know it's tied to slavery. You can track the money from Wells Fargo and these banks back to slavery, but you'll still hop in the bed. Like, what are your ancestors looking at you right now saying? TD Jakes? Like I don't think this is going to be positive in any kind of way, and I think it's just another way to bamboozle more black people.
All right, Brother McCoo, thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Original. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Greeting everybody, peace, black power, and reparations. You know, I would say to black people, be extremely careful following well-known or high-profile black people who are trying to solicit you to engage in a financial transaction with a bank. Now, let's go back to that subprime lending debacle that hurt tons of black people across this country. These people, they were perceived to have Magic Johnson, who claims to be a businessman, okay? In my opinion, Magic is no businessman. He was working with Washington Mutual, luring black people in. Now, I would put some blame on the people because, I mean, some people should have did more research, but unfortunately, too many of our people, they trust these people that come across their TV or whatever, that the white folks claim is someone that they can emulate and want to be like. That's the wrong thing to do. So Magic was working with Washington Mutual, where, you know, tons of people went in there and they got caught up in that subprime lending scandal. Then Andy Young and Tavis Smiley, they was working with Wells Fargo, who ripped a lot of our people up. They were just approving these loans, knowing that some of these people could not afford those loans. They didn't make enough money to buy like a $300,000-$400,000 house. So now here we are again. I call him TD Jakes. I call him the Devil Jakes. That's what I call him. Now here he come, wanting to lure black people back to the dungeon, or the what they call it, the back to the abyss, whereby they will be taken advantage of once again. See, we've been through this too many times where people will come out and they just continue to rip the community off, and now here this the Devil Jake he's supposed to be some little funky preacher, and thinking that people just gonna trust him. Black folks, if you know what's good for you, don't follow this fool. Do not follow this fool, because you may end up in a situation worse than what the people ended up with doing that subprime lending. If they're not willing to give you a fixed rate, whether you get a 15 or 30-year mortgage, if they're not willing to give you a fixed rate, run for your life, because these people they keep rolling these people out incident after incident after incident, and unfortunately, too many of our people they continue to fall for this. You know, I'm with Brother McCoosh. Screw TD Jakes. I wouldn't get. He couldn't. Ain't a damn thing he could do for me. And same thing with Tyler Perry. Yeah, the property is over here off of 166. Over, I think they call that the Oaktown area of Atlanta, something like that. So there's a modern train station over there too. But this is going to be interesting to see just how this ends up. And like I think what Brother McCoo said with Wells Fargo and all of their racism, what they've done. Because see, I know when I lived in California, I had to work through a temp agency, and they paid me, so the check was drawn on Wells Fargo. They was trying to charge me to cash my check, and I told them, I said, look, if I have to, I will report you to the bank examiner that you would not cash a check that is drawn on your bank, and they cash my check. And I've never. That's why I said I would never have an account from Wells Fargo, because what's that guy named Warren Buffett? Oh, they talk about this guy being so smart and so great. I mean, but he's been ripping people. Wells Fargo has been ripping people off for probably since they was open. You know, I know when I lived in LA, I went. They had it was like a museum. I think her name was, I can't think of her name, but this lady, she was a stagecoach driver for Wells Fargo, and she never lost the money or anything. She always, I can't think of her name, but I went through that museum while I was out there. But I'm just telling people, please be careful in following these people that they put in front of you, and they tell you that everything is okay, because Magic Johnson did it. And if you notice that with Magic Johnson, a lot of those businesses that he had, they either folded or somebody bought them out. Magic, I do not see Magic Johnson as someone that I would take financial advice from. Now, anybody else want to do that, you go ahead. Same thing with the Devil Jake. I would not trust this boy to get me involved in a financial situation. No. People be very careful, just because too many people have been hurt following these fools. And I'm gonna land with that.
All right. Thank you, Original. We got quite a few hands up. Good to see everybody. Ready to go ahead and dig into this as well too. Carlos, go ahead and unmute your mic. How you doing tonight? Carlos, you sound Carlos, you sound a little scratchy there. Carlos. Hey, Carlos.
I just wanted to share a couple of stories about how Wells Fargo ripped.
Hey, Carlos, can you hear me?
When I bought my house, the mortgage.
I don't know.
Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos. Yeah, because your reception is pretty like scratchy. Maybe he can't hear me, Professor. See if he can hear you.
Carlos, can you hear me? This is Professor.
Carlos, can you hear us?
Okay, you can hear me? Okay. It sounds like you're in the matrix.
Yeah.
Go down, come back up, and you'll get your spot back. Just go down.
Yeah, drop down and come back up. Got caught up in the matrix there. So hopefully we'll get you right back up here, Carlos. Let's see how quick it takes to get you back up here, of course, too. But all right, he's coming back up, and hopefully his reception is a little bit better. All right.
Okay.
Carlos,
coming back up.
Can you hear me, Carlos?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, you're good now, so go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to say, in case you didn't hear me, I just wanted to share a couple of stories about Wells Fargo. When I purchased my home, the mortgage was through Wells Fargo. my mortgage was $1,200 a month, right? I had auto pay set up through my bank, saying that, you know, I was paying $1,400, and I also had written on there the extra is to be applied to the principal of my loan, to, you know, pay the interest down a little bit. So what Wells Fargo did was they put my house in foreclosure. Now, they're cashing a check for $1,400 every month. But what they did was they put the extra, because the extra $200 wasn't a full payment. They said that I made a late payment every month. For years they did this. Now I'm in Afghanistan. I don't know this is going on until my cousin, who was handling my affairs at the time, he sent me an email telling me that, hey, your house is in foreclosure. I'm confused. So I had to luckily my loan was backed by the VA, and they had to get involved and actually took my loan from Wells Fargo, because they had, like, at the time they had like $12,000 of my money just unapplied funds. But they saying that I'm making late payments, yet they're cashing checks, and they just set my money to the side instead of applying it to the principal of my loan. The second story I wanted to share about Wells Fargo is before I switched banks, I had an account with Wells Fargo. I was in the military at the time, and I used to wonder, like, why I just didn't have the money that was, that I should have, that I'm calculating. So, in the military, we get paid on the 1st and 15th. I sat there on the computer and watched it. I would have my bills set up to come out, let's say, on the 1st. What Wells Fargo did, I could see my check pending. What they would do is pay every one of my bills out of my account first. So I could get a $35 overdraft fee for each bill. And then they would deposit my money in the account, which would be like a $200 that I'm missing. And they did this every pay period. And, being in the military, you really don't keep up like you should, because you're out in the field sometimes, you're deployed, things like that. You don't keep up the way you should. And I blame me, but I would never have any dealings with Wells Fargo. And I landed.
All right. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Tammy. Tammy, go ahead and unmute your mic.
You know what? I hate Wells Fargo as well. And I looked them up because when I went to the bank on the side, on the right side of town, very, very nice. Free money orders, very just accommodating. Well, one time I had to go on a different side of town, and it was, I think I was trying to withdraw some money. Stop. And they didn't have it, right? And I'm thinking, why y'all don't have $10,000? You a bank? So the guy said, come back. I said, okay, I'll come back the next day. Well, the next day was Friday, and I went back, and they did not have, the money. Well, you can go over to the other bank, and y'all can too. Why you gonna inconvenience me? You knew I was coming back. So why you trying to say, I know what I can do? It was just the way, the tone, the accuser, the insistent or the suggestion. Instead of having a manager, you got a manager over there, they can drive it over to this bank and I'll come back. So we went back and forth, and you said he would have it Monday. So when I went back on Monday, they didn't have a job. And I just tell you, I showed out so bad in that myself, 2-3 times. You could have called me because you knew I was coming that morning because you had asked me, that's the time you told me to come. Y'all, I got loud and the little security guard was inside the cage. He did his hand like, what you telling me to be quiet for? What? Ain't nobody in here.
Who are you talking to?
That's what I was saying to the security guard because he told me he waved my hand and told me to be quiet, lower my tone. And I said, why? I'm upset because he was there, on Friday when I went in. You do not know the little guy said, well, I will call the police. I said, I will too. I ain't scared of no police. I said, y'all the ones got my money. It was the interaction and the customer that happened. And so I put in a complaint that I never heard back about. So I called back about it because I was upset. How you gonna act like you want to call the police, the outside police, because I'm upset? Like I'm not supposed to have emotions about you all not having my money when I did. I looked them up, and Wells Fargo is the oldest bank. They probably was there when Freedom was up and going. And it's outrageous that they have had enough power because we know their interactions with customers and customer service was not good, especially with black people. How y'all keep that off the bat? Who under y'all thumb? Because as much dirt as you all have done to black people, you should be ashamed of yourself. I have this CBS video that I looked at. It's called something like this, and it shows you stuff. It laid Wells Fargo out about their shady practices, about how they owe the government and don't ever pay. It was just so egregious that who is the oversight for y'all? Who oversees your practices and these things? They don't never go to jail. Our ass go to jail and we actually got a curator, but they don't ever go to jail. They don't ever have to pay back no penalty or money, but they do pay the bills late in order to charge you with a late. I noticed that too, right? And I was like, y'all just outrageous. But yeah, that's fine to tell. And I can't even figure it on no people today. No 100 bites. What about Mickey D? I don't know what happened.
I'm gonna touch up on Mickey D's after I get to these hands, the hands up here, and we're gonna go on a touch up on Mickey D's real quick as well too. So let me go ahead and thank you, Tammy. Let me go ahead and get to Professor. Then we're gonna get to Brother McCool. Oh, we're gonna get the Professor. Then we're gonna get to Buffy. Then Brother McCool, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the McDonald's actual article next, and then you can go ahead and get it after that. Professor, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Newstoter. And this is a great space. Glad to see all the family up in here. I just want to say right quick, family, if you notice, this is the game that white supremacy plays with us all the time. And that is to throw celebrities / entertainers / religion preachers, pastors, deacons. Basically, they're going to throw these two types of deals right in front of our faces because this is what black folks seem to always go for. Religion and entertainment. And they know how to just throw these type of people in front of us because they know we seem to fall for these type of folks. Black people are always about entertainment. So we love our celebrities, sports, actors, actresses, whatever. We love them. And we do have a tendency to want to hear from them because we consider them to be somewhat of a leader in the community because of where they have made it to. And we, as Black Americans, we aspire to be there in that same spot. And then, of course, they know black folks are really soft when it comes to religion. So, see, this is where T.D. Jakes come into play. He's a big mega church pastor. And naturally, a lot of people in the black community do go to his church. Okay, a lot of black people in the community are giving big time money to his church. Okay, so this is what gets thrown at us, and they know how to play the game with us when it comes to those two things, religion and entertainment. This is why when Original said what he said, he's warning us that we need to be careful about this. Original, you was right on the money. Brother Muko also was on the money with that. Family, do not fall for this type of stuff. We got to get away from it. Only for religion and entertainment. These people do not speak for us. Do your research, do your homework, do whatever you have to do to understand what's going on in your community, what's going on in politics. Just know that this is the type of stuff that white supremacy likes to throw at us, entertainment and religion. I'm going to land my plane there.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Let me go ahead and get to Buffy. Buffy, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hi, Newstoter. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. Mr. Professor, yes, you basically said everything I was going to say. I just want to add that they play on our desperation. They know that we're the most oppressed race, and we want it. So, we want an equal playing field. They play on our desperation. So they'll choose, like Brother Professor said, somebody that they think they can get to us on a mass level. Why not choose somebody like a TD Jakes? You have to remember, it's a business. He's a multi-millionaire mega church owner. And like he said, he can reach the masses. It's nothing new. Like I said, and they always find a weak link. Somebody that's willing to take the bag and sell us out. If you need an example, I'll give you Detroit for an example. Detroit was like a black mecca. Black people was down there 80s, 90s, living good, living really good, black businesses and stuff. And it was an orchestrated movement to destroy it. First, they unplugged the money, the jobs, and you see what happened to Detroit. So imagine being able to reach the masses, or like what they did. I mean, we got a lot of evidence in front of us. Like I said, a blind man should be able to see this play. And then once they reel us in, then it'll be something higher interest rates or something, and they'll just say, "Oops," you'll be in for foreclosure, and they'll just say, "Oops, sorry," and then by the time they work it out, you done gave up because it took you years. And that's what they do. They just got busted for opening up accounts in people's names without their permission. There's well-documented cases of Wells Fargo being racist. People was removing their money by the masses from Wells Fargo. So TD should be ashamed of himself with the record that they have. He really, like I said, this is. You shouldn't even have to be all the way tapped in to see this. Just be mindful, because like I said, they play on our desperation, and I'll stop there.
Okay. Thank you, Buffy. I appreciate it. Denise and Brother McCool, we're going to get to you, but let me go ahead and touch up on this next article, and you guys can come back to the TD Jakes and Wells Fargo if you like as well, too. This is also in the Jumbotron. This is from Black Enterprise. It's titled Al Sharpton addresses McDonald's racial discrimination claims, demands immediate change. This is curator Newstoter.com platform. McDonald allegedly hasn't settled its beef with the black community. Civil rights and social justice activist Al Sharpton has issued a warning through his activism group, the NAN, that it will mobilize against McDonald's if the company fails to address alleged racial discrimination. According to the New York Post, Sharpton directed a letter to McDonald's CEO on Thursday demanding that the fast food chain address the racism accusations linked to employment, advertising, and franchising practices. We find it appalling and inexcusable that McDonald's Corporation has not satisfied its differences with the black community. There are lawsuits brought by black franchisees, another brought by a black former executive over racial discrimination from the highest level, Sharpton said. And let's not forget the $10 billion lawsuit brought by Byron Allen over the fact that Black-owned media did not get its fair share of McDonald's supersized advertising budgets. And Ayen's letter also covered the issue of the recent removal of Ariel Investment co-CEO John W. Rogers Jr. from McDonald's Corporation Board of Directors. We're also outraged at the removal of John Rogers, a well-respected business leader for the Black community, from the Board of Directors. We unequivocally demand they immediately acknowledge and address the issues, or we will begin a national campaign around McDonald's. You cannot sell Black folks Big Macs and give us little justice, the minister continued in a letter. McDonald's Corporation announced the retirement of Rogers from the Board of Directors in March, following 20 years with the company. According to the press release, Rogers retired alongside Robert A. Eckert, who joined the board with him in 2003. These retirements are consistent with the board's commitment to ongoing refreshment that maintains an appropriate balance of continuity and institutional knowledge with fresh perspectives among directors, McDonald's explained in Rogers and Eckert's retirement announcement. Rogers spoke with Black Enterprise President and CEO Earl Bush Graves at BE's Wealth Building Summit 2 weeks ago in Atlanta and dropped some gems regarding the key responsibility of Black board members who represent the Black communities. A corporate investor explained that African Americans in the boardroom should focus on purchasing and philanthropy as people, and they should fight for economic justice and make good trouble, to quote late civil rights activist John Lewis. Okay, before I get to the hands real quick, also let me go ahead and touch up real quick on the actual Hunter Biden article as well. This is from Business Insider. It's also in the Jumbotron. Once we go ahead, we'll get to the hands. You guys can go ahead and touch up on any topic tonight that you like. So let me go ahead. This is titled Hunter Biden's lawyers say he has already paid $750,000 in child support as he fights to reduce payments. This was also curated on Newstoter.com platform. Once again, this is from Business Insider. Hunter Biden's attorney said in an Arkansas court on Monday that the first son, who's fighting to reduce his child support payments, had paid $750,000 to the mother of one of his children. Multiple news outlets, including the New York Post and CNN, reported a lawyer for President Joe Biden's son said Hunter had paid six-figure sum in child support to London Roberts, a former stripper with whom Hunter has a 4-year-old daughter. Abe Loyal, Hunter Biden's attorney, said in Independence County Courthouse in Batesville that Biden had been paying $20,000 a month to support the youngster, Navy Jones, since a DNA test in 2019 confirmed he's the girl's biological father, the Post reported. Both Biden, 53, and Roberts, 32, were in the courtroom for roughly a 2-hour hearing. During it, the judge ordered Biden to respond to written questions about his financial dealings, including investments, sales of his artwork, and other monetary transactions, CNN reported. The judge added that Biden would have to participate in a deposition in mid-June and answer questions under oath, the news outlet said. A trial to decide whether Biden's child support payments can be decreased is set to take place in July, CNN reported. Last week, a lawyer for Roberts filed a 12-page brief accusing the president's son of mischaracterizing his financial situation in an effort to reduce his payments. Mr. Biden claims to be nothing more than a Yale-educated attorney artist who is somewhat financially destitute and needs his child support adjusted, the brief said. However, for an artist living on meager means, Mr. Biden is living lavishly. It added he travels the world on the safest, most comfortable plane in existence, Air Force One. The brief also criticized Biden's group of powerful lawyers, calling them some of the most expensive attorneys on the planet. Biden initially disputed he was the father of Navy Jones, but a DNA test proved paternity, and he eventually settled and agreed to pay the previously undisclosed amount of the child support. The case was closed in 2020, but reopened in the fall after Biden sought to reduce his child support payments. All righty, let's go ahead and get to the hands. Denise was up here, but she must have went down. So, Brother McCool, you got it.
Well, McDonald's always owes Black people the protest. They got to market that. Okay.
What kind of dog is that, Brother McCool? What kind of what's that? That's some kind of ankle biter or something?
There you go.
Oh, I'm like that little ass bark he was putting out. Go ahead, you got it.
McDonald's always been an enemy of Black people. They they never had our best interests at heart with that fast food shit. So I really couldn't. I really don't care what happens with McDonald's. The only thing I care about McDonald's is them getting out of our neighborhoods, poisoning our children and shit. And as far as Hunter Biden, white people, Hunter Biden and paying child support, crackheads got art. Like, damn, when did crackheads get so fancy? All these drugs this dude doing and all this shit he doing and $20,000 a month. That's just a crazy situation right there. I think that's all I got. I think that's all I got for right now.
Appreciate that, Brother McCoo. This joker is the president's son, and he got a stripper pregnant. Like, damn, like stripper almost half his age, and he done knocked her up and got her pregnant. So this is you kind of see like the things going on, the political infighting. I bet you got a lot of Republicans behind this too, because they pissed that the Democrats went after Trump, and they're trying to get him arrested and everything else, bringing charges up. So hey, it's a tit for a tat. You coming after me, so we're gonna come after your son, and it's just going back and forth. Whatever. I don't know whatever happened to Hunter's laptop either. So, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Both of these last presidents. I mean, is it me or that these presidents' sons are more degenerate than their fathers? I mean, you first you had Baby Bush. He was a fucking degenerate. He couldn't get it right. Then you got Hunter Biden. His father was the footstool of Strong Thurmond, for Christ's sake. I mean, white supremacy gets so many goddamn passes. You know what I'm saying? This white boy done fucked up on so many levels. What's this, like the 6th or 7th goddamn time he's been in the news for something stupid?
At least, at least. I mean, this joker, you got the crack, you got the talk about what they were talking about, trying to link him to taking money from Russia one time, and you got, just all kind of crazy stuff with this dude. It just goes on. So yeah, man, Hunter Biden, man, I don't remember any president child being up in the limelight. And I know you said Bush, and Bush at least did go the political route. He was a governor of Texas, then he became the president. But this cat here is just a regular Joe Smo, and he's always involved in something like that. Like, man, look, your dad got millions of dollars, therefore you got millions of dollars. Go ahead and get a girl whatever she wants. She's a stripper. You already knocked the stripper up. So you should go ahead and try to keep that as quiet as possible. Go ahead and pay her money and let everything be everything, man. You got it. Like the girl said, you sitting up here. You're not a pauper. You ride no Air Force One. You stand in crazy places to live at and this and that or whatever. You don't have to work really. So go ahead, give the girl the money, give the woman the money. Let everything be done. People would have forgot about the whole situation had you just went ahead and just paid up and left it alone. You went ahead, you started paying in 2020, then you decided to come back out of the blue and hey, well, let me go ahead and drop this down. So hopefully this stuff ain't being spent on the taxpayers' dime. If they want to go ahead and go to paternity court and they want to go to Maury and they want to go to all these other places, please make sure that your people, they fit the bill. They go ahead and cough up that dime, but because the taxpayers don't need to pay behind this. The McDonald's thing, I will say this. McDonald's has made billions of dollars off the black community. Okay. McDonald's, that's why every black neighborhood you see, there's a McDonald's in there. So McDonald's has the money. McDonald's needs to go ahead and and we've seen all kind of lawsuits and we've seen franchise people coming out and saying how they were treated and this and that. McDonald's has made a killing off the black community. They should definitely go ahead and set everything straight, set everything right. So they have the money. Now, Al Sharpton, and I will say this about Byron Allen. I give a Byron Allen saying, and if you want to hold McDonald's accountable, you're going to have to almost do some kind of boycott. You can't sit up here and really tell a company, yeah, it would make sense for them to go ahead and divvy up some of that money with black media, but it's kind of hard to tell somebody what to do with their own business. And Byron Allen, I know a lot of times he does these lawsuits with Comcast and he does it with these other companies. It seems like Byron Allen, whenever something is directly impacting him, is when he starts to speak up. And I know he's going to put the black media you know, as a way to go ahead and say, oh yeah, well, we've been excluded and this and that or whatever. But a lot of times it's about Byron Allen. Byron Allen feels like he's been excluded. He's not getting what he wants to get or whatever. So he'll go ahead and he'll loop the entire black media around it. I feel what he's saying, that, yeah, they have the money. Black folks spend a lot of money with McDonald's and made McDonald's billions upon billions of dollars. You know, we can't deny that. But at the same time, I don't really know exactly how you can make a corporation, how you're going to make this corporation actually go ahead and he's suing them. And let's not forget the $10 billion lawsuit. He's suing them for $10 billion over the fact that, you know, that the black-owned media is not getting its fair share of the advertising budget from McDonald's. I don't know exactly how. I don't know how you can make them actually cough up the money. Like, yeah, would it be the right thing to do? Hell yeah, it'd be the right thing to do. But since they're not doing it, then you hurt them in their pockets. You go ahead and you just tell, and that's when you start forming a national boycott. You're like, hey, everybody, let McDonald's go. Don't go to McDonald's. Let's boycott McDonald's. Now, we know most of these Negroes are still going to go to McDonald's and still get them a supersized meal or whatever. But you can get enough black people. If you got 10, 15, 20% of people in this country that's, you know, normal people that go to McDonald's, black people say, hey, you know what? We're not going to spend a dime with McDonald's, not even so much on their French fries or whatever. You know, they would get the point there. But you got to go ahead and use your actual boycott powers and put them on display. And that's something that we don't do. Al Sharpton, you know, and everybody's kind of hit and miss with Al Sharpton as well, too. And he's coming out and he's saying this and he's saying that. And, you know, I can't disagree with some of the stuff he's saying as well, too. But if you're going to go ahead and put the boycott, you know, go ahead and do it, man. You don't have to just constantly keep talking about it. Just go ahead and form a boycott. Start sitting up in front of these McDonald's with picket signs telling people not to go in there and eat or whatever. Make sure you're not on their property so they don't go ahead and kick you off. But if you really talk about trying to actually do something to get some actual and get something actually tangible from it, you know, if you're trying to really hurt McDonald's, because like I say, black folks have spent billions of dollars with McDonald's, and there's no denying that. McDonald's, they target black people in spending. They want black people to come there. You know, the meals are cheap enough that, hey, they got that's what one reason they got a goddamn dollar value meal for you to come in there and spend $2-3 and get full on something. So it's up to black people to see exactly what they're gonna do. So we'll see exactly how this plays out or whatever. I'm not entirely sure. Like I say, hold on real quick, man. I don't know why people starting to come off their mic and interrupting the actual host as well, too. Like, guys, this is just crazy what I'm seeing here lately. But we're gonna nip this in the bud around here, y'all. I don't know. When in Rome, you know, as the saying goes, when in Rome. Volvo, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What did McDonald's do? I wasn't in the room. I was there. That's all I'm trying to get in context.
McDonald's, they have you got people that you got some of the franchisee owners saying that McDonald's they've been unfair in how they treat them. They got all kind of racial discrimination suits. So that's pretty much it. And then like I said, you have Byron Allen, who's sitting up here talking about you know, basically suing them for $10 billion because of the budget they have. They're not allocating it to black-owned media. They're not getting their fair share. I don't know exactly what you can do on that part right there. But like I say, you do have a number of people that have been a number of you know, black people that work with McDonald's, whether they're top level CEOs or executives, and you got people that actually have their own franchisees saying that they're treated different than the white franchisees as well too. So, you know, that I think is a legitimate gripe and a legitimate beef. And like I say, what Byron Allen's saying, I don't disagree that they should, you know, McDonald's should cut black people in or whatever. But I don't know how you can make them cut them in. And like I said, if you really want, if you're trying to force somebody to do something or trying to get somebody's attention, then you may have to just go ahead and withdraw your money from going to the actual place, which, you know, let's be for real. McDonald's, in terms of their food and product to me, and, you know, we grew up on McDonald's. We used to eat McDonald's and stuff like that. But McDonald's, look at the prices of McDonald's now compared to the 90s, you know, and look at the actual quality of the food. The food sucks. I mean, being honest, like my kids, they love it and whatnot, and I take them there. But to me, I mean, it almost like makes you sick on the stomach when you eat some of this crap. But that's just me personally. But go ahead, Volvo. You got your thumb down. So tell me why you got your thumbs down. Let me tell you what.
No, I'm just saying, McDonald's is delicious. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Right.
Yeah, the McDonald's is delicious. I love the Big Mac quarter pounder. You gotta get a nugget. Man, they got this. Man, that McDonald's is delicious.
Sound like a lot of trans saturated fat to me.
Yeah, well, hey, that fat, that's where the flavor at. That's where the flavor at. You don't know why you think bacon tastes so good. I haven't had bacon in years, but bacon that used to be my favorite meat. The fat, that's where the flavor at. Them fries, niggas done kill niggas about McDonald's fries. You put no salt on the McDonald's fries, nigga, you get some cold McDonald's fries. Yeah, niggas done literally killed niggas. Niggas done died about that. So, like, McDonald's is not nasty, but that ain't why I
Hey, Tammy. Yeah, yeah, like you cutting in while the man talking. Like I don't know if you're talking to somebody in the background or you talk like what are you saying?
Check what your mama gave you.
It's a McDonald's jingle. Big stack filet o fish, quarter pounder French fries, icy Coke, stick shake.
So while the man's actually talking, then you start singing the jingle is what you're saying. Tammy, you're not on that yak tonight, are you? You ain't on that yak, are you? Okay. Well, let's play it this way. Let's play it this way here, love. While he's talking, let's let him go ahead and finish talking. That would be the respectful thing to do. And then after he's talking, you can raise your hand and the mic will be on you. How about that? Everything that sounds like that works for you? That seems like it works for me. How about anybody else in the space? Does that work? When somebody else is talking, we go ahead and let that person talk. And then after that person's through, then you go ahead and raise your hand and we'll go ahead and give you the microphone. How about that? I mean, that seems like that, that would kind of save on having any issues, any problems. Nobody feels like they're being cut off and people are being rude to them. I think that works for everybody. How about we try that tonight? Okay. Thank you, love. I appreciate that. Thank you. Volvo, go ahead and unmute your mic. Matter of fact, Professor and DJ, hold it down 1 second and I'll be right back.
All right, bro, go ahead.
I was going to say, I like that plan, that mutual mic plan. I like that plan. That's a very good plan. But I didn't come up here for the McDonald's discussion. I came here about the Hunter Biden thing. I don't know if y'all touched on this. I've been in and out. For some reason, my phone was fucking up. But remember Joe said he didn't want his kids to go to school. He don't want them to be able to go to a racial jungle. Like, we gonna corrupt his kids or some shit like that. He didn't want his kids to go to segregated schools. Well, look at how his son turned out. He a real crackhead, for real, he a real crackhead. He out here buying pussy, he buying prostitutes. Unbelievable. You can't even make this type of shit up. This is comedy. Like, he can't even, this nigga a real crackhead out here buying prostitutes. Goddamn, like, did you see that he a real crackhead? Like, he been a crackhead for a long time. When he was going to school with them white kids, them privileged white kids, they was in school, they was in high school, they was getting drunk, they was doing coke. They been covering for Biden for a long time, for Hunter Biden for a long time. For a long time. He been an embarrassment to the family. He been an embarrassment to the family name, he been an embarrassment. He been fucking up. That ain't new. That man, like almost 50 or something like that, or he might be in his 50s. But that man been a fuck up. Talking about he don't want his kids to go to school, and now we got baby mama drama. Unbelievable. You can't even make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. So he said that he didn't want his kids to go to school with us because, like, we gonna corrupt this kid. And look at how his son turned out. That's unbelievable. He been embarrassing Joe Biden for a long time. Joe wanted more for him.
Joe had aspirations of being the president of the United States. He ain't just wake up like, I'm going to be the president. He been thinking about that since he was in his 20s. He just finally made it happen. And his son turned out to be that. He's supposed to be working on being the president of the United States too. 20 years from now, like his father. But he a fucking crackhead. That is unbelievable. You know how I know he a real crackhead? I'm from the street, right? A street nigga would love to have a crackhead like Hunter Biden. A crackhead like Hunter Biden, who you know that he always got money, he smoke big, he a partier, he buy prostitutes. A nigga that sell drugs would love to have a crackhead like Hunter. You got something to hold over his head. I'll leak this shit to the media. Give me $100,000. He done paid that type of number. They've been paying motherfuckers off. They've been paying motherfuckers off to keep Hunter Biden's secret that he a crackhead. He had a scale. If you go back and watch the video, Hunter Biden had a scale that he was weighing the dope on. Now, your average crackhead standing in front of the store, he don't got no scale. He only got a pipe and a lighter, and he trying to figure out where he gonna get his dope from. He had a scale because he been getting cheated. They've been selling him 8 balls for $1,000, all types of shit. He been getting cheated. He been smoking. He been getting high all over the world. He a real super crackhead. I land my plane.
All right. I'm back. I caught you. I heard what you were saying, and yeah, I can't really deny pretty much what you're saying. Like I said, the fact that this dude, the president's son, and he knocked up a stripper, like oh my god, like how was that even possible? Like, dude, and not only that, you're the president's son. You're crackhead at that too. Like this, like how does this cat come from? How does he come from a privileged background? Your dad was been a senator your whole life, vice president, president. Out of all the drugs that you decide to experiment with, how in the hell did crack come near you? When I heard that about the crackhead, at first I thought I'm like, come on, stop. The dude ain't on no smoking no crackhead. Like, no, seriously, he's smoking crack. Like, come on, man. How does this guy smoke crack here? Like, how does crack even find his way into the Secret Service area that this cat is living at? But nonetheless, he got the rock. He hit the rock. I'm still amazed how he got the rock, but nonetheless, he got the rock, and I don't know what else you can say about that. Real quick, y'all, in the Jumbotron, we got the Newstoter YouTube channel. We didn't get anybody yesterday, guys, to sign up to the actual YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and get some people to sign up to the YouTube channel. That is on the that's the fourth one on the left. I'm sorry, fourth one on the right, actually. Fourth one on the right. So go ahead while the actual space is going on. If you haven't, I'm sure a lot of y'all in there already have subscribed, but for those that haven't, just go up into the Jumbotron, fourth one on the right, click that while the space is going, click subscribe, and you're subscribed. Don't unsubscribe if you can help it, but if you can't, oh well, but if you can, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, if you can, support us on Cash App. That's $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned news curation platform today in Black America, the largest Black-owned Black American news media curation platform today. Once again, that's $Newstoter, $Newstoter. If you do not have a Cash App, we have the PayPal and Venmo up in the Jumbotron as well, too, for anybody on YouTube. We have all of those links in the actual description. So if you guys have at least $1, we're trying to see if we can at least get $1 donation tonight. If you guys have at least $1 and you don't mind donating it to up-and-coming Black media curation platform, please think about donating to Newstoter. I believe Buffy is next. Buffy, go ahead, unmute your mic.
I just wanted to add something really, really quick. Newstoter, that was said. Hunter Biden probably been on drugs. I'm thinking of back when Biden was making all those predator drug laws in the 90s. Hunter was probably in the thralls of his addiction, okay? He probably was in the thralls of it. And even if it wasn't crack, he was doing something. It probably elevated to crack, but he always been on drugs. And here, just to think that whole time you writing laws, locking us up for decades, you piece of shit. Your son is a whole drug addict. That's why I always said a lot of times the loudest person in the room against something is a secret participant. It's a reason, you know. So yeah, just think back then he probably was he was on drugs then too. He didn't just start smoking crack. I just wanted to add that really quick.
You make a great point there. Yeah, you're right. While he was he was giving all of these excessive years for the crack compared to the cocaine disparity. His son, you know, and I don't want to speculate, but who knows when he started on that actual rock? Because normally, let's be for real here now. Normally, when people get on that rock, it's not something that happens overnight. Let's just keep it a buck here. It's not something that, oh, okay, I tried it one day and now. No, normally you hit that rock. You've been hitting that rock for a long time, for some years. Like there are crackheads that's been smoking that rock since crack came out. We got crackheads still walking around. That's one thing about crack. It ain't like a lot of these other drugs where you OD and you out of there. You got crackheads that's been smoking that rock since 85, 86. Let's not kid ourselves right here. Still walking around, still lighting that stem up. So it's not something that just happened overnight. If you've been hitting that crack, and it might have started in the 90s, whenever, you got these crackheads, they lifelong addicts, a lot of them. They hitting it for 20, 30 years on. Some, like I say, some of them been hitting it close to damn near 40 years up in this country, still walking around, still kicking, still breathing, while people that was on heroin and some of these other drugs, they out of there. They done OD, they done left this earth. So let's keep it a buck, y'all. Brother.
Can I add something else too, Mr. News Charter? You know, you made a great point. Like, how did crack get to him? Like you said, his father been a senator all these years. So it's like we say, I know you put the thumbs down, but this is what I'm saying. I'm talking accessible. Yeah, we know rich people get high. They be the main ones. Look at the police. I said this in another space. The police union captain, white woman, got caught for ordering fentanyl off her work computer and then having it delivered to her home and then selling it. I mean, for years. This lasted for about 8 years. So, you know, we know that a lot of times, you know, the picket fence people be the biggest drug addicts. But what I'm saying is you have a senator father, you have, like you said, the Secret Service around you. Like, who brought crack to the party? I know y'all do pills and everything else, but it was just a great point. You know, it's accessible if you live in the hood, but how accessible is it? And you got Secret Service. But you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, I understand. And Buffy, I'm to that same point. I'm just trying to figure out, how did this guy come across it? Like I said, and I just somebody had to bring it there.
I know they do drugs just like us, you know, but I'm just saying accessibility is different.
Can I say something? I'm an expert in this area. I'm a crack baby. My mother used to smoke crack. She was pregnant with me. I'm an expert. I come from a whole family of crackheads. I'm an expert in this area. That ain't, trust me, crack ain't that hard to find. Y'all act like it's like they gotta stick it under the Secret Service, punch in the code. That ain't nothing but cocaine. That shit is extremely easy to find. Extremely easy. Extremely easy. If you trust me, if you want some crack, and y'all sound like y'all don't know nothing about this. If you really want to find some crack, you can hang this phone up and go outside, and I guarantee you, within an hour, if you're really looking for it, you're gonna find some crack. That shit is everywhere. That shit is everywhere. That's crack. But like y'all sound green to the motherfucker. Like, yeah, I was inaccessible.
I know what you mean. I in no way, shape, or form wanted to give the impression like, you know, oh, they're white, rich, they don't smoke crack. Because let's not forget too the discrepancy in the sentencing laws when it came to crack versus cocaine. So I know what you mean. Like, it's accessible, and they always associated the black people with crack and the white people with coke. Like, oh, it's a rich.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I totally, yeah.
No, listen to what I'm saying. How he got on it was he a rich kid that they been doing drugs. He do shrooms. He do everything. He do weed. He started with weed, liquor, all that. They rich kids. This what a rich kid look like when they started.
Started on the Marlboros, bro.
Marlboro, all that. He experimented with
Marlboro Reds.
Yeah, with all types of shit, bro. All types of shit. He a rich white kid. You know, when you see them drug addicts walking around on the street, they might look dusty and dirty. Some of them come from the suburbs of where y'all from. They come from the rich communities. Their parents just threw them out, got rid of them. They done fucked up all the money they done gave them, fucked up the college fund, fucked up they done stole shit out the house, and now they just stuck in front of the gas station. And he just look like a dusty regular. He a crack monster like the rest of the crack monsters. He just down there in the hood. That's it. The only thing that saved him is that his father is a U.S. senator. And they've been babying him and putting him in and sticking him in the back door rehabs and all that. He a drug addict. He a normal drug addict. He just happened to be rich.
Hey, real talk, man. We not saying that. We not. Yeah. We not saying that he can't get access. We're just saying that the pampered life that he lived and his father and you know, having Secret Service and all these people around you and stuff like that. That, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, we know, but rarely did you see white people. And when you think about white people in high positions, of course, we know a lot of white folks. There are a lot of poor white folks, a lot of middle class white folks even smoke crack and stuff like that. But rarely, when you hear a white person talk about they had an addiction or something, how often do you hear any of these notable white folks say, yes, I had an addiction to crack? I mean,
Wolf of Wall Street. Remember that movie?
Yeah, Wall Street.
The Wolf of Wall Street. He was smoking crack. That's the ultimate high. If you understand drug addicts, you understand that they
You talk about the character. You talk about the character that Michael Douglas was playing.
No, the Wolf of Wall Street.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
What was that movie Michael Douglas played? That was something.
He played Wall Street back in the 80s with Charlie Sheen.
He talking about the Wolf of Wall Street with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that shit was
well, anyway, that's a true story. He was a millionaire. That's the ultimate high. After they get done with all them expensive, fancy drugs, the crack is the ultimate high. You might just associate it with poor people because that's where it takes you. But that's the ultimate high. When they get done playing with all that, they playing with the other drugs. Crack is the ultimate high. Period.
Real talk, Brother McCoo. Go ahead and you got it. Go ahead and let Tammy go. And Tammy, you need to turn your volume up. Tammy, you there? But we can hardly hear you. It sounds like you in a hallway or something.
Even right now.
Yeah, you still sound far away.
Like that. Okay, let me just turn off the. Sorry.
Okay, what? There we go.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's way better.
Okay. So I was just gonna say I just did a little short dive, and it said he started using it before the White House. But, you know, he in Washington, D.C., they said he would go to the strip club right around the corner from the White House. I mean, it is easy to get. I don't know if it's as easy as Fargo would say, but once you start, it's easy to get. But I don't think that he is dealing. I think they hid it too long and tried to cover it up. And he probably don't know whether he the baby's father or not, y'all. And that's the sad part. The baby is 4 years old. It does not make any sense.
He took a paternity test, though. You know that, right?
Is the baby his?
Yeah, the baby's his.
Well, why he denying the baby?
He ain't denying it. He denied it at first, but now he's trying to change it. He doesn't want to pay he wants them to reduce the child support.
You know what? Well, I don't know. I don't like to get in those discussions. Okay, so he is. I wonder, is he seeing the child? Do you know if he's getting visitation?
Now, from what I heard, they act like and I'm just, this is speculation, but it doesn't seem like that child is all that close with the Biden family to, from what it seems like.
And that's
The mother is a stripper. Think about it. How often do you think Joe Biden wants the stripper mama to come into the White House?
Hunter frequented around the time he was dating his older brother's widow. What the hell? He done went through a lot. I don't know.
Brother McCool, go ahead and unmute your mic, y'all. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Let me hear what you got to say, y'all. And also feel free, y'all, if y'all want to go ahead and touch up on any other topics, y'all want to get back to the TD Jakes and Wells Fargo, you want to talk about the McDonald's, or you want to talk about the Hunter Biden, I don't care. Anybody else up in the also that's that wants to come up and speak as well, too, just go ahead and request a microphone. We will bring you up here and allow you to speak as well, too. So don't be shy. Come on up here. Raise your hand. We will go ahead and give you the microphone. Brother McCool, go ahead. You got it.
Hunter Biden on crack rock. They made that song for his ass. Right, his son smoking crack rock. And I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to say this. You had to learn it from somebody. Biden was sniffing coke back in the motherfucking 80s. Trust. He was a cokehead.
Let me say this. Let me say this. Allegedly. Let's say that.
Right. Man, you suing my man. Now, allegedly, for the space sake, though, you know, you had to learn it from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just Hunter. We can't forget about his sister. We can't forget about his older brother, even though he did. I mean, he was a crackhead too. You know what I'm saying? So all of them learned it from Pop. You know, degenerates don't fall from too far from the tree. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we got to look at the circles that they already running in. And then on top of that, most of these goddamn presidents and white people do not love their children. They don't care about children. Think about it. White people send their children off to boarding school and shit. They don't want to even be bothered with the fucking, they don't even want to be bothered with the trouble of raising them, of passing down anything to them except bad habits. So I'm not surprised that Hunter, I'm not surprised that Hunter is a crackhead. I'm not surprised that his sister is a crackhead in the making. And I'm not surprised that his dead ass brother was a crackhead too. All of them crackheads, you know what I'm saying? I mean, look, you're dealing in politics. All these white supremacists sniff coke. And if you ask where you got the crack from, as long as you got the coke, you got the crack. Remember, y'all, you got to do is cook it up. 10 crack commandments, y'all.
Real talk.
Y'all got me so excited.
Real talk. Let me go ahead and get to Volvo. I guess you only one with your hands up, so you go ahead and unmute your mic.
I just want to say that no, Biden ain't no crack. Like sometimes, like you know what I mean. Like Biden ain't doing no drug. Biden is sharp. They think Biden is like everybody try to make Biden out to be dumb. Biden ain't dumb. You don't become the president of the United States being dumb. He's sharp. He done worked his whole life for that. He worked until he was an old man to become the president. I can't hear nobody. Anybody hear me?
You can't hear Brother McCool? Brother McCool.
No, I couldn't hear well. No, I'm going to go back down to listen and come back up.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say that Brother Mooka is right, especially the privileged and rich white people. They hire nannies, live-in nannies, to take care of their kids. And when I say I've had quite a few come in, I mean, so self-sufficient, but struggling emotionally, struggling to, with attachment issues. Mom, dad still don't get it. Work all the time, never at home. When they are in the office working. So that is a huge barrier to learning social skills and you just doing stuff to make your parents mad. That's true. I'm gonna look at statistics. I can't even say statistics, Lord. Let me get off this phone.
All right. I see Trans is beautiful, has a hand up. Go ahead, Trans.
Hello. Hey guys. Hey Trans.
Hey, what's up now?
How you doing?
All right, Professor. Come on, man. Go ahead, Trans. Are you there, Trans?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, Trans, are you trying to speak? Are you trying to say something? Are you there? What the hell? Oh my God. What the world?
Don't listen to Nas. Don't listen to Nas.
Who put that on the Trans?
I believe that was Trans.
I don't even know.
Oh my God! Now we trying to be decent. We trying to go ahead and let you speak up here, and this is how you were paid. Like what the hell? Oh my Lord! Like come on, man.
Hey, bro, throw that dude out, man. Throw that dude up out of here, man. Let me say this.
No shims allowed up in here playing that kind of.
Yeah, we got to kind of drop you on that one, Trans. Now I'm trying to be fair and be a host or whatever, but I mean, normally you come up in here and you try to speak or whatever, and you know, even though people might disagree with you, but this is not it here. Now, come on, now we can't do this.
Let me say something to you, Lou.
Oh Lord.
The reason why I always come in your room is because you don't really keep a troll space. Your space is starting to turn kind of trolly. You know what I mean? Like my brother, you got to tighten up, man. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just a suggestion. This your space, but your space is starting to. It ain't like intellectual conversation no more. Like it's starting to be trolls coming out.
No. Hey, you start your own.
That was kind of a shot there. Like, real quick, because I'm gonna have to disagree because I mean we don't have a bunch of trolls coming up here every night, you know, cutting up and stuff like that, Bobo. So I mean, give me a couple of examples. Give me in the past week. Give me all these examples of all these trolls, and let Volvo say. Give me all this example of all these trolls that come up in here ruining the space.
Every time I come up, I get trolled, and you even agree with me on that. Immediate trolls, like immediate motherfuckers that just hop on stage. It's Volvo on stage. Let me hop on. They don't even talk about the topic, but they choosing you. So like you can't be mad at that. Like that's not intellectual debate, then, brother. That's not. If you know somebody coming up just for Volvo, that's killing the vibe of your room. Like what you coming up for me for? I'm just one of the speakers. I'm trying to talk about the topic. They love you, bro. You the best, yo.
Okay, duly noted, Volvo. I you know, people have come up and said some stuff to you, and you know, I still wouldn't say this is a troll space, and I think most people in here would disagree with what you're saying. But you know,
disagree because a lot of times they go against the grain. So that's
look at her. She ain't saying nothing. She been fumbling around all night. She ain't saying nothing.
I've been fumbling around all night because I had a drink. You don't know that.
Right. You look like you had a lot of drinks. Like this ain't
okay. And like I said, we're gonna get back on the actual topic. This is not a troll space. I still think for the most part, we put out conversations, we put out topics every night. We putting out news-worthy information. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that, but I get what you're saying. But hey, you're entitled to your opinion. Let me go ahead too and get to Trouble. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Stop, yo. They don't have no niggas with white baby mama faces, because that's where you need to be.
Play too much, yo.
Hey, everybody, I'm sorry. Oh, my God. I hope everybody's doing well this season that I oh, Lord, let me get myself together. So this been one of the most funniest faces I've heard in a minute. Lord have mercy from me.
Tammy coming off the bike, singing by some McDonald's while somebody talking.
What?
And told her having to check the room, and somebody talk while they talking now. Okay, can we do this? Lord have mercy, I almost spit out my coffee while I was driving and pulled over. Lord help me.
Y'all have not heard the McDonald's jingle.
Tammy, we know that old ass jingle. We used to eat McDonald's, man. Come on, man. You still eating that stuff? Hey, original up here, Tammy. There you go, right there.
Original. Hey, original.
My phone acting a little bit janky, but yeah, I don't have a lot to add. You all made some excellent points. Professor and Buffy pretty much, and with Brother Muko, y'all pretty much tied it in original, as far as the TD Jakes and the Wells Fargo situation with them allowing, with us, white society knowing who to go to, when they trying to slay us like a mug, so they going big, they going with the big TD Jakes, and that's kind of funny. Newstoter, I agree with you about the whole Mickey D situation, especially when it comes to Byron Allen. Byron Allen always comes out like, he tried to use black media, but really it's for himself, and I kind of peeped that too, so he was definitely on point with that one. Hunter Biden, we have this perception of white people in our minds sometimes where we think that they don't do some of the janky shit that they've always put on black society, but the last couple of presidents, but really a large portion of the presidents that's been in there, there's been some straight trailer park trash. They just got the presidential title, so we look at them a little bit differently. And like the sister was saying, Hunter probably been doing that damn thing ever since Biden was a senator. And the reason he was talking about the racial jungle and A, B, and C, I mean, from my perspective, and it's just my opinion, Hunter might have been hanging out with some Negroes who was selling his behind, a little something, and then was pissing Biden off. He was like, I'm gonna give y'all selling my son this good dope. I'm getting ready to hem up everybody. That 95 crime bill. He is like, yeah, y'all want to sell my son that dope? I'm getting ready to fix y'all kitchen. But you know what? I done said this phrase a long time. Boy, if you don't put that old white hand down and sit down somewhere, because I was getting ready to agree with your monkey behind, because Marvel made a lot of good points too, but you keep on throwing that thing down. But, I don't know. We gotta stop looking at these white folks like they not able to get a hold of these drugs. They've been doing more drugs than a little bit for the longest period of damn time. I find it funny, but I've used this phrase a lot, and I'm keep saying it. The white folks' skirt is being lifted, and I am enjoying every little single bit of that skirt being lifted, and karma is coming back to eat that ass up real good. Okay, that didn't sound right. But karma coming back to bite that ass real good right about now. You want to make it seem like this is the degeneracy that's running through the black community, but we've been a witness to all of the foolishness going on in white folks' world for the last several years, and it is delicious. It is quite delicious. I'm enjoying this. I want them to keep telling on their damn selves. I want their stories to keep coming out. I want their degeneracy to keep flowing the way that it's been flowing. Because that's exactly what they get. That's karma coming back on that ass. I'm enjoying it. Y'all know enjoy the ride.
All right. Thank you, Trouble. And you're right. And I wasn't trying to imply that because we know that in terms of the actual drug use and experiment with drugs, like nobody takes the cake over them. So trust me, I wasn't trying to say that. We know for the longest that they tried to make it seem like crack was only in the black neighborhoods. And we know that's not true as well, too, because there were a number of white people that was also smoking crack, too. Now, they'll say that they were poor white folks. They'll always, poor whites, they got on crack as well, too. But no, a number of middle class and upper class white folks that got on crack as well, too. It was, maybe you could say it was poor white folks because they were in those areas and stuff like that. But you had a number of white kids in middle class and suburbia that was also smoking that rock as well, too. My only thing was that Hunter Biden, he didn't even grow up in suburbia. He was upper middle class. He was wealthy when he came up or whatever. So, but that still doesn't stop the fact, because back in the day, you had here in Florida, you had Jeb Bush's daughter was it Jeb Bush's daughter? It was Jeb Bush's daughter. She was arrested and stuff for drugs and whatnot or whatever. And, it wasn't crack, but nonetheless, she was on drugs bad and stuff like that. They tried to try to shoe it under the rug as much as possible. But, you got some of these politician kids a buck wild. I mean, we definitely understand that. I'm just thinking like, hey, how in the hell though? This Joker, he came out, he was old enough. I think Hunter Biden is like 53. So he saw the entire crack epidemic when it came out. So like I said, we also know about crack. If you like, crack is something that people smoke crack for a long time. It ain't something that just, okay, well, I started 1 year and then I quit. No, buddy, you're a crackhead for a minute. Like there's very few people that try crack for a year and they stop.
But y'all remember even Baby Bush before he became president, he was on cocaine. They had the reports out about him, how he was on dope for a long time too. They just be hiding their kids' foolishness for a long time. And that's what they always do. When I was growing up in school, even in elementary, going into junior high, I remember the white girls, young as they was, in the bathroom licking paper, licking off of a paper. I think they said it was acid or whatever it was, tripping off of stuff. They be doing
and the white girls, trouble not to cut you off, but they do drugs more than anybody else. That's why if you got like black dudes dating these chicks, and you better tell your sons be careful because they'll tie in they sexuality with getting your ass on drugs and stuff. Go ahead and snort this off of me. So you be careful. You got sons and stuff like that. Well, he'll be up here popping pills and every damn thing else as well too, trying to hang with them. So definitely school your boys on it because next thing you know, old girl will be coming out there in some lingerie and pulling out something in aluminum foil with your ass, and your son will be up there, and next thing his nose will be wide open, and you'll be taking him to rehab. So definitely be careful. Let them know because the girls, you can talk about the boys, but them damn girls and stuff, they use more drugs than anybody else in this country.
That's why they got the saying white girl wasted.
Real talk. All right, let's go ahead and get to Professor. We'll get to Tammy, and we'll get to you, Volvo.
Yeah, thank you again, Newstoter. Just want to say this right quick, and then we're going to hop back off of that topic, or get back on the topic. That is, this space is a number one space on this app, this particular space right here, Newstoter. This is where the family can come, get information, educated, and we also bring in some fun too. That's a Newstoter space for you. Definitely not trolls. And then we get, of course, devil advocates like Bobo. They come up in here just to throw their bullshit out there. So that's what this space is. Now, with that being said, Hunter Biden. This dude has been using drugs for years. This is something that we know. And one of the things that I know, just living here in a small town, I have seen white people that come out of families that have the so-called old money, and I know y'all have heard that before, old money, right? These folks use more drugs than anybody. A lot of times, not necessarily crack, but it's other shit such as the cocaine, heroin, popping pills. They do a lot of pills. As a matter of fact, that's probably the number one thing that they like to use is pills. And so they always point to our community as being the ones that's involved in drugs. But trust me, there's a lot of these folks around here that's popping the pills. They making meth. We got a lot of folks around here that get busted, y'all, for these what they call them, the meth houses, lab houses, and stuff like that. And we have even had people that get blown up in some of these meth places around here. Idiots around here trying to make meth and they blow the damn house up and shit. See, that's what I'm talking about. But see, they try to hide this stuff. That's what they do. See, this is the thing about the whole white supremacy system. They hide the devilment that they do. They try to hide the things that their kids do. And then what they want to do is highlight the things that Black America is caught up in. Now, look, we are human beings, and we have flaws. And therefore, when you have flaws, everybody is capable of falling short from the grace of God. Okay? All of us are capable of falling short from the grace of God. Amen. I don't mean to bring church into this, but I'm telling you, you're going to fall short from the grace of God. Now, say what you want to say. You say, well, I never do that. You can't never say what you won't never do. A lot of our people have fallen short, and they have fallen on hard times. If you know somebody that's on drugs, what we ought to do in the community is try to see what we can do to get them off of the damn shit. Okay? Because it's a disease. It can take over your mind, and next thing you know, you're stuck for a long time. And once you get stuck into it, it's hard to pull yourself back from it. But our job in this community is we should try to do what we can to bring our people up and out of it and encourage them to seek help and even try to get them into something so they can have help. Okay? See, but that's where we have failed in this community, y'all. We're not doing things as a collective unit to bring our people up. And the other communities are doing things as a collective unit, which is why they're continuing to go up and increase their wealth. See, the Hispanics are coming up because they're doing things as a collective. They live in a damn trailer as cockroaches. But they're doing things as a collective unit. See? They might not even get along with each other, but they're doing things as a collective unit. Same with these Asians. They run around here chasing dogs and cats and shit. And they even doing that as a collective unit. They catching all that shit as a collective unit. That's right. And then the white folks, see what they do? Yeah, they might be all fucked up and fighting with each other, but they still do things as a collective unit, right? So here we are fucked up. But what do? We don't do shit as a collective unit. We just continue to fuck each other up. See? You can't do it, Black America. You got to stick together as a collective unit, even if you got fucked up people in the unit. Now, I'm going to land my plane there. I want y'all to think about what I just said. We do things as a collective unit, even when we got people fucked up in the unit. That's how you get up. That's how you rise up. Can I defend myself?
Hold on for a second. Bobo, you just hold on. You just came up here. Hold on. You just came up here. Yeah, you're gonna have to wait, Volvo. You just came up here. You just can't cut in front of everybody else, man, and just come up here.
But he called my name. All right.
Yeah, you'll get a chance to speak. You'll get a chance to speak.
Bobo, wait your turn, dude. Let us get to this.
Let me go ahead and get to Leon. Leon, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Specifically, that's all I'm saying. Hey, what's going on? Whatever, man. Leon, go ahead, brother. Do your thing, bro.
What's going on, Professor DJ Newstoter? How's everybody doing?
Good to see you, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna respond to Professor later. I'm gonna get to the topics though, but I'm gonna come back to what Professor was talking about because he was cooking. But anyway, Hunter Biden, yeah, well we know he's a druggie. We could go all the way back to Reagan's son. You know, he was one of the first big drug users that we seen, and then it just kept going down the list. You know, you had the GW's Bush daughters, and then Clinton. You had his brother. His brother was a big druggie. You know, he had to want to partner. I'm sure that was probably the most saddest day in Bill Clinton's life, that you had to partner your own brother out of jail for drugs. But anyway. This TD Jackson Wells Fargo, I've been reading up on that. We just have to see how that plays out. It sounds good on paper. It does. It sounds good on paper. But we got to see how that goes. Because I'm sure there's going to be stipulations of who in his congregation is going to get the funding for those homes. Mickey D's, I don't know why we even still eating that shit. It's just shit. Excuse my language. It's shit. You know, just we're way past those days where they try to push Calvin. How many of y'all remember the commercial with Calvin getting a job at Mickey D's?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But then Mickey D's is making black people die and get sick off their food. But yeah, they're getting Calvin a job. So. Flipping burgers for $4. But they want to make Calvin the manager. But anyway, Now back to what Professor was saying. I agree with you, man. I think what the problem is in our community, we have to hold these disruptors. No offense, disruptor. I know that's just your name, Tammy. This has got nothing to do with you. I'm just talking about the ones who are us and doing bodily or financially or physically harm to us. We have to hold them accountable, and I do mean hold them financially accountable. Sometimes you might even have to hold them physically accountable. You know, a couple lumps outside the head. These other groups, they do away with their traders. Whether they, you know, strip them of all their funds, or, you know, as they say, sleep with the fishes. But we always have a problem giving them grace in our community. They do us wrong, and we let them off the hook. We give them grace. We kind of send them to purgatory, but we send them to purgatory, and they still eating filet mignon and drinking wine. That's not purgatory. You got to strip them financially, emotionally, and sometimes physically. To enough that once we start doing that, all these Joe Reeds and Roland Martins, even though both of them ain't us, but I'm just saying, even the cosplaying ones, once you start holding them truly accountable, they're not going to be the one speaking on our behalf. And I'll land there.
All right. Thank you, Leon. I see Volvo must have dropped back down. Go ahead, Tammy. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, y'all. On a serious issue, just real quick, we need to go and look at grant funding, federal funding, that the government gives out freely. I would like to have a space about that, Newstoter. It was a Black organization serving Black kids that Nashville pledged $7.5 million to them, and then said they had to partner with United Way to get the money.
We can, Tammy. We can hold a space. I'm just trying to keep it on the topic, but just DM me and we can.
Got off the topic, but okay, I'll DM it.
Yeah.
I want us to understand how much money is out there, and when you pull up how much Black federal funding, they pull up Pell Grants.
Yeah, just DM me that, because I want to try to keep everything on topic tonight.
Well, what I do want to say on topic tonight is, you know, we come in here and we have a good time, and he would have never said that in a white space. Never. You know, we have fun. Some topics are funnier than others. But all of a sudden, because you come in here and you go back and forth, you're usually the one that, you know, want to accept truth. You put your thumb down, which all of us do at one time or another. I have never, ever come up in here and really acted a fool. Well, that might not be true. I'll land right there. However, stop holding us to a different standard than you would hold anybody else. Because what you said was not the reality. Apparently, enough attention was not placed on you. That's when people start, you know, going towards the negative. That irritates me.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. Black Pressure, I know you had your hand up. Did you want to speak, Black Pressure?
Hey, I'm gonna come back up if Volvo come back.
I don't think Volvo, he was in here, but I think he left the room. Volvo, I think he got upset about me not letting him respond directly. Yeah, so I think he got a little pissed that I didn't let him respond, which he was like 2 people away from responding. I was gonna let him, but it was just like, I just didn't want you to come in here and you just came back up, and just people sometimes in the spaces, people just want to just cut over other people because somebody mentioned their name or whatever. Like, well, hold on, you can still defend yourself and say what you got to say, but just don't, there's other people waiting. So go ahead. It was Professor and Tammy ahead of him. So Boba would have been up. He would have been after them. So he wanted to go ahead and speak right away because he heard his name or whatever. And
he called Boba right. I know he called my name.
So I was trying to go ahead, and then like I say, it was hands up here before he came up here. He was a third in line. He was going to speak, but he wanted to speak right then and there, so he left the space. And it is what it is. He may come back, he may not come back. That's fine. I'm sure he'll be back. If not tonight, maybe another night as well. So,
well, if he comes back, I'm gonna jump back.
Okay, but let me go ahead and get to Brother McCoo. Then, Brother McCoo, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I'm gonna say, we better look for other shit to come down the pipeline. As far as these bringing out these old ass preachers. I'm kind of shocked that they ain't bring old Creflo Dollar out to work. You know what I'm saying? Get him to sponsor some shit. These banks gonna start using these preachers like celebrities to get their congregations to kind of like fall asleep, forget what they did last year. Oh, this is not the same company anymore. They got a new lease on life. They see stuff differently now. So now all of a sudden we supposed to believe that just, Wells Fargo is going to do us some justice or do us right just because, you got TD Jakes. Who ain't been, and I want to add, he ain't got a good track record with the black community as it is. He wrote a couple books or whatever, but he ain't never do nothing really for his congregation big down there. And even if he did, he ain't do nothing for the cause collectively, because you still follow the same white supremacist fucking religion that you're trying to, you're trying to keep enforcing and putting on us. So, I just want us to watch out for the Joe Alsteins, and they just might come with a white preacher. You know how most black people are sucker for white motherfuckers. You bring white Jesus in, and people act like, some black people I say less for the space sake, but they act like, like it's the second fucking coming, and just because it's white is right. So I hope we don't fall into that trap either. As far as with this bank church team up shit.
Appreciate that, brother McCoo. Let me real quick, guys. Like I say, if you can donate or contribute on Cash App, because last month April was the New Black Media Month, and that was the lowest participation we got of any month so far this year of people actually donating to contribute to the actual Newstoter platform. I thought like the New Black Media Month, and that was something I didn't even drum up. I didn't do a space on anything like that. I didn't mention it. I didn't talk about it. But in terms of the actual support that we got from our people, that was the actual lowest that we actually received all year long. And I thought that the New Black Media Month would have been one of the better months. And in this space, when we ask to donate or contribute, we don't ask for a whole lot of money. And I always say, and I do that for a reason. I say, if you have $1 that you can contribute, $1, not if you got $10, not if you got $5, not if you got 20, 25 or whatever. If you got $1 that you can contribute, that you can donate, that's all we ask for. Anything other than $1, anything that you give over $1, that's just a cherry on the top. But if you have $1, and we're not asking everybody, we know everybody can contribute. We know everybody may not be able to. For those that can, if you have $1 that you can contribute to the actual platform, that would be greatly appreciated. So that's all we ask for. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. And it's a reason that I say the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today, because the actual spaces is just a small part of what the actual platform does. The actual content speaks for itself. All of these topics tonight came off, and all of the topics for most of the time. Very rarely do you see us hold spaces where the actual topics come from someplace else. Just about all of the topics come from the actual platform itself. So that lets you know when we're up here sitting up here and we're discussing this, we're talking about it. This is actually coming off the actual Newstoter platform, curated from our partners. And actually, you know what I'm saying? We get the excerpts, But the full articles are from our actual partners. The actual articles are on the actual site. The content, that's what we're doing daily, tweeting it out, trying to inform people, keep people posting everything, what's going on in Black America. So that's why I say for those that can support, we don't ask for a whole lot. We just ask for $1 for those that can, and it's greatly appreciated for those that can. And I know sometimes people feel a little different, like, well, what's $1 to give? $1 means a lot. $1 means that, hey, I'm thinking enough of you to go ahead and contribute. This may be all you can do, but it is greatly appreciated. So we definitely appreciate everything that we get. Let me give a shout out real quick to Brother McCoo for constantly supporting the actual platform as always. And let me give a shout out to you also too, Denise, as well too, for your contribution. Volvo, I see you came back up here, so you want to go ahead and unmute your mic?
Yeah, I'm just curious, bro. What like he named me by name. What am I saying to make y'all niggas turn into trolls like that? Like, just keep me, because you saying his words were, we got people coming up here like Volvo saying dumb shit, playing devil's advocate with his bullshit. So what exactly am I saying? How am I playing devil's advocate? I'm trying to, because it seems like these niggas just trolling. Like they want my attention.
So Volvo, let me say this real quick before anybody says something. I think a lot of times that you, Professor Black Pressure, that a lot of times they're just simply just playing with you. They just simply is almost like the dozens. They going back and forth. I don't think anybody means any ill will towards you in the space. That's just my personal opinion. I can't speak for anybody, but I think most of the time they're just playing with you. And that's another reason why I try to nip it in the bud, because I know, and we all know growing up and stuff like that, you can joke around with people and people take things differently. Some people take it to heart. Sometimes, we've seen people joking and play around and it leads to a fight. So that's why a lot of times, even though I know it's a joking matter, I try to go ahead and diffuse it right away, because, when you're talking about that, the testosterone, you talk about the male egos and stuff like that, sometimes, people don't take it the same way. So that's why I try to go ahead.
I can take it, y'all. I'm a funny nigga. Trust me, my joke's way better than yours. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this: every time, like where you don't even, we talking about something else, you coming specifically just to say something to me. You ain't even on topic. Every time you speak, you mention my name. How am I playing devil's advocate to that point? Like, what am I saying? Like, I ain't like to where.
I think what they saying, Bobo, because a lot of times that, sometimes that, you have the room on a certain topic or agreement, and you may come and you may vary in terms of what you feel, which is, I don't care. It's good to have a difference of opinions in the spaces as well too. So when they're saying devil advocate, they're just saying that a lot of times you disagree maybe with the flow of the room. That's the way I perceive it.
All right, that's cool.
That's just the way, like I said.
Keep naming me and just talk your shit, bro. Like if you want to crack jokes, we can crack jokes. You know what I mean? We can go to a troll space for that. The reason why I come to you is because you got different topics. You looking for niggas' opinion.
Yeah, and real.
This ain't a Volvo space.
Yeah. I mean, we looking to put the news out there, the content. We want to hear what the community has to say, what they have to offer. So, like I say, it's definitely no disrespect intended or whatever in the space as well too. And I don't want any hard feelings. And you're right. Even though you and I, we disagree and stuff like that, and we have our difference of opinions. I do respect your opinion, and I appreciate you coming up in, and I do like you coming up in here because you do have a difference of opinion. So we don't need an echo chamber. We need people that's going to think different. Everybody don't have to be on the same accord. We can disagree and do it respectfully. And I think for the most part, anytime we have a conversation, things can get heated and things of that nature. That doesn't mean that you dislike somebody, you hate somebody, or you want to fight them or whatever. It just means that, hey, sometimes we get caught up. If you've seen debates and stuff, you see people get into it. You can see political debates, and you can see people expression and their voices start to raise and stuff like that. People, get into it. So it's not even like that. It's not that serious. I swear, man, we just, like I say, we up in here, and we consider you part of the Newstoter family as well too. I know I do. So I'm glad when you come up in the space, you have a difference of opinions. I don't always agree with it. You don't always agree with me, but at the same time, I do respect what you have to say. And I mean, and everybody else in here respect it as well too. Professor and Black Pressure, be pulling your leg, and some of the other people in here be pulling your leg or whatever. But that's pretty much all it is, man. It's nothing serious like that. Real quick, let me give a shout out to Miss Valerie, to Rera, and to Black Pressure, DJ, and everybody for your contributions on Cash App as well too. Like I say, it's not that serious, and they just and like I say, they just doing this just to get a rise out of you because they know they can get a rise out of you. So that's all it is.
Brother, and that's what trolls do. They look to get a rise. They just looking to get a reaction. There you have it. They trolling me. There you have it. That's what it's about.
Okay. Let me see. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's up, Black family? What's up, news?
What's up?
Hey, I just thank Professor for his soliloquy earlier. You know, I look at Professor been my man since day one. I look at him like Rilla. He can you can take a bad situation and they always try to examine the silver lining. So I appreciate that. And he was telling the truth about how you can never say never. You know, that is a popular idiom, American idiom that, you know, people always say never say never. And, you know, the things that you could easily get trapped in life. But I will say this, just to steal one of News's phrases, I'll give a little pushback to Professor. I will say there's some things that I could never do, because if you examine nature and the reality we live in, there are absolutes in nature. You know, hydrogen, oxygen equals water, right? Water boils at 212 degrees. Sun rises in the east, sets in the west. Those are absolutes in nature. Those things that are going to always be factual. So, like he was saying, I have a personal testimony. If you just give me a few seconds, I'll share something that I'm glad that God did for me. Like, you know, the old folks say, especially me being from the South, how he fixed my mind, right? So there's a lot of things I could have went wayward with in my life, but there's one thing I'm glad I could say I would never do, and I have never done in my life. Just say, do you know how low down and gutless and worthless and lacking of a soul and lacking of a conscience and just totally disrespectful to your mother and father, literally brain dead decision making skills you have to get a white woman pregnant? And that's what I'm glad God did for me. I never got a white dog pregnant, and I think people in this room need to listen. Never get a white woman pregnant. You have to have just a full out lobotomy to pull some stupid shit like that. You know, I would say I'd rather drive.
Now, Black Pressure, you know, I just walked off, and I just walked off for a second, and I came back. I just literally walked off for a second, and I came back just to hear this. After I thought we.
You know what kind of bitch ass, trick ass, fuck nigga you gotta be to do something like? I don't know anybody that's ever done it.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought we had got everything straight to y'all. Like, oh boy.
Oh no. You know, Bobo is outside of the Newstoter family. Now he is a member of the family, but he's on the outskirts of the Newstoter.
I swear, I literally walked off for a second and then came back. I was like, with Black Pressure gonna be speaking for a minute. When I come back, I hear about getting a white woman pregnant, and oh Lord, here we go.
That's my main man, Black Pressure. Everybody, Black Pressure. That's my main man. Right
oh my God.
That's my dog there now. Hey, look.
I am your father. Just remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Bobo say, if it ain't snowing, he ain't going.
And then Ray came up here. He said, Oh boy.
Hey, Bobo, everybody going in on you, man. What's up with that?
Nah, everybody chill though. Everybody chill for real because, like I said, Volvo, like I said, he has his difference of opinion and he's entitled to it or whatever. So let's not go ahead and attack the brother. If the brother feels how he feels,
Can I defend myself?
yeah, go ahead, man.
Oh wait, my hand been up.
Hold on, Tammy. Hold on for a second.
I was.
Hold on. We'll get to you, Tammy.
We done called everybody in your name.
Oh my Lord. This man, I guess you just didn't hear like what, because like I said, I guess you just didn't hear what was actually said either. Go ahead and let this man go ahead and say what he's got to say real quick. Go ahead, Volvo.
Yeah, I'm special. Look, I make grown men act like this. There's 3 grown men acting like this. They can't even stay on topic when I come in the room. Like that's what I was saying the other day. These niggas be acting like bitches about me. I be going through this in real life too. Like I'm talking about literally people be falling down in front of me. Now he went and now he came on mic to do all that. These 3, this your co-host knows. Your co-host acting like this about me. These niggas older than me. Some of these niggas probably old enough to be my daddy, and they acting like this. They acting like bitches about me. Unbelievable. You got enough. I'm about to go in there.
Just so you all will know, they captured that guy that went over there and killed up all those people over there shooting his gun into their yard. They captured him.
Okay, good. And that's what we need to be talking about, y'all. Like actually like news related issues and stuff like that. Oh my God, Tammy, go ahead and unmute your mic. This space ain't gonna be going on too much longer, y'all.
The only thing that I was saying is, Professor was defending the space.
Yeah, he was. But Volvo felt that he took a shot at him when he put his name into it. So like,
but Volvo came and said something about the space, and Professor was just defending the integrity of the space.
Yeah, exactly, Bobo. That's why I mentioned your name, man, because you came up here and you spoke ill will of this space, and this space has turned into a trolling space. So let me tell you, don't say anything. Don't say it. Everybody be quiet. Let me see what I got to say. I've been coming up in this space since June of last year. And if you notice, I have stayed in this space because this is the space that you come to get information. And I said earlier, you can have some fun in here. Newstoter allows everybody to say their piece, which is why I stayed in this space. I went to other spaces when I first came back onto the Twitter app. I went to other spaces and it was crap. I went to people's spaces, they was arguing all the time. They were dogging each other out. They was doxing each other. They were just saying all kinds of stuff. They were putting each other's pictures out there. But then you come to Newstoter space, you was getting information. Everybody was comfortable coming up in here. And that's why I came up here and defended the space, Bobo, because you said this was a trolling space. So you started it, and I just finished it. And there you go.
All right, let me go ahead and get Aunt Lai. Aunt Lai, how you doing tonight? Tammy, go ahead, because I thought you were stupid. Go ahead, Tammy, because Aunt Lai, she hasn't spoke at all tonight. So go ahead, Tammy.
I wasn't quite through. So we do go back and forth, and we may have an argument in here, but for the most part, 99.9% of the time, we talk about serious issues, and we have different perspectives. And for someone to come up after us talking about colorism and explaining how it affected the Black community, to still dismiss and minimize it, I didn't say anything. But it did affect me because a lot of people do that. Just because you didn't experience doesn't mean it wasn't experienced by someone else. And that we still have issues in that realm. And you may not experience it. But that doesn't mean someone else has not had it or been able to talk about it. first time I talked about, the hair thing and the curls and the relationship. I never did my hair. I never knew it had curl because we never were taught that. Well, my mother, they never, her hair was curly and my sister. But that was a serious share for me. And for it to be just kind of like minimized and dismissed, that didn't need to be said. But I didn't say anything because everybody has a right to their own view. So I'm not a troll. I might be a lot of things, but a troll is not one of them. I'm not a tether. I'm not a spy. I'm not any of those names. I'm disruptor. I'm Tammy. So if we could just keep it respectful, brother, I would appreciate it.
Can we keep that same energy with everybody else? Because I ain't disrespecting nobody unless they disrespecting me. I'll be talking about the issue.
You got some narcissistic traits.
Who I called out their name? Who I said something bad to? Who I?
Okay. Okay, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move to Aunt Lie because she's sitting here patiently. So let me go ahead and get the Aunt Lie real quick.
How y'all doing? Peace, black power, reparations. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be ignorant real quick, but I'm gonna apologize first. I want to say, Black Pressure, I appreciate you. You gave a story before about this fine chick, and I just want to say I would have felt better with the story if you would have had to hit it, and then it was trash, and then Black Woman's the only one for you. So, but I do appreciate that story, and I just would appreciate it if you would have smashed it, and then it was trash. So you would have, got yours off, and then I let my plane. Bye.
That means you agree with all of them.
Well, you see what I'm saying, Lou? You see what I'm saying, Lou? I can't win for Lou.
Let me say this, right? Let me say this, right? I just want to apologize for all the beautiful, Ecuadorian women. All of us ain't like that. All black men ain't like that. Some of us will handle it. You just bumped into a 40-year-old version.
Some of them actually insert their penis into German shepherds and get them pregnant.
No, don't apologize to the Ecuadorian. It was a joke. It was funny.
Let me say this, right? Black women.
Nigga, you a swirler going to swirl around.
Black women. Your men are the most sought after men in the world. Y'all should be happy about that. That y'all men are the most. Okay, yo, this space has gotten way out of hand.
Yeah, the space, the hold on, let me go ahead and let me mute it real quick. But yeah, the space is definitely it's getting sideways right now. And it's no original. I'm gonna go ahead and remove you real quick, and I'm gonna bring Dana up here. So let me go ahead and remove you, and I'm gonna bring up Dana real quick. And no taxation. Let me see if anybody that wants to move down Aunt Lie. I know you said you just wanted to say that real quick, or Ray moved down. So let me bring up no taxation. I may let these be the last two speakers here for the night as well too, because this is just.
Hey, News, I'm gonna drop down.
Dana, did you no taxation? You got your hand up. You want to go ahead and say something?
I was in and out of the space. This is probably when you start your spaces. Hello to everybody in the room. Sorry, I didn't say hello first, and I hope everybody's enjoying their week. This is my guilty pleasure. This is like I really take time out because it's late in the day and I can take time out to come to the space, and I get so happy when I can come at an earlier time. I finally made it again at an earlier time, and then something came up. I had to get off the phone and do this, do that, and then so I kind of missed everything. But the thing about let me just bring it back around. Wells Fargo, they have to make amends to the Black community, and I never did business with Wells Fargo, so I never got hit by them. Financially, but they got to do something because you see what happened with that bank. Chase just ate it up, And Wells Fargo can get ate up. They got enough debt, and that's what happens to those banks. And so they probably trying to figure out something. And so that's probably a little outreach that they did. I wonder, from TDJ's point of view, is it going to go by the way of what the late, and I say great, Reverend Calvin Butts did in New York, in Harlem? He bought up all those properties and rehabbed them, and then he offered them low-cost housing for, especially he started with his elderly people in his church, giving them a place to live, a decent place to live, a more modern place to live, clean, and that kind of thing, and then did an outreach in the community after that. But he did take care of his elderly parishioners first. And so if it's going to be that kind of a situation, then I'm all for it, but I think it's a wait and see kind of thing. I don't know what happened with Mickey D's. I read a little bit about it. After you put the spaces up, I was like, okay, let me go see what they talking about. The only thing I know about McDonald's is on the franchisee end, and I know several black men. They all happen to be men, oddly enough, that own quite a bit of franchises in the McDonald's corporation. And so, I'm wondering, what is that all about? Is that Al Sharpton's friends? Is that something he's concerned about? Why haven't we heard from this CEO other than the little statement he put out? Why haven't we heard if there was wrongdoing or if he felt some type of way? Why haven't we heard that from him, rather than Al Sharpton?
Well, no, sister. Well, we lately over the last year or so, there have been quite a few articles and stuff that they were talking about. A lot of some of these black franchisees felt discrimination, and they felt racial, like they were being discriminated against by McDonald's. So even though Al Sharpton's kind of coming on the scene late, but you have been having some articles about that over the last year or so.
That's interesting, because I think what I'm going to do is have my husband call. One of them is my husband's friends, and I think he owns 10 or 12 McDonald's in the state of New York. So, I would love to find that out, because that's a big deal. I personally don't go to McDonald's. I don't, it's not a place where I go and I frequent. And I actually think it's kind of a travesty when we do have them in the community. I would rather see, some, one of those clean food places like white folks have in their neighborhood than McDonald's. But that's just me talking. So yeah, I really would be interested in you following that up and keeping us up on that, because that's an interesting topic, because there's a lot of money at stake. And it's McDonald's is a major corporation, and they do make a lot of money off of people in poverty, because that's where they put McDonald's. They don't, every 5 or 6 miles you might see a McDonald's in certain neighborhoods, but you go to other neighborhoods and there may be just one. So I'd be interested in knowing what's going on there. Hunter Biden, wasn't he a crackhead 5 years ago? And so he popped out that baby, right? So he got to pay, and it is what it is. And I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Dana. Dana, how you doing tonight?
Hey, yeah, Sister Tax Hunter never stopped smoking crack. He was weighing 8 grams on the scale just recently. He a crackhead. He a quacker.
Hey, how you doing, Dana?
How you doing?
Hey, hi everybody.
What's up, Sister Dana?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, good space. I didn't read much on that TD Jakes and Wells Fargo, but just the 2 words, TD Jakes and Wells Fargo, just those 2 names alone, it's like, okay, it's some bullshit, or it's not for his, it's not to help benefit his congregation. I don't know exactly where his church is located. Is it located in a black community or upscale community? Because like when we start looking at these churches, it's a lot of churches in the black community that need funding,
And then the ones that are doing well, they don't really put back into the community. They don't create credit unions. You know, they don't create outsourcing programs or daycares like that. I remember growing up in the Black church, it had all those things, and then it just went, left. Especially under Bush when he, I forgot the name of the law he passed that had to do with religious churches and stuff like that, as far as how they tax them or something. But I don't know what is he trying to do with Wells Fargo? What is the plan? Did the article, because I didn't read too much, but did the article say the purpose of him linking up with Wells Fargo? Or was it just to benefit his?
It's supposed to be to create more housing, basically.
Okay, more housing for low income Black people.
It's going to be mixed income, because they're saying that the low income Black people, the low income starts to create issues in terms of the drugs and everything else. So this is going to be a mixture. It's going to be mixed income.
So it's gentrification, because if you a lot of these urban areas, metropolitan areas, they are creating a lot of these quote unquote mixed income, meaning the average person making $60K and the highest making probably over $500K. That's mixed income. They're not talking about $50K and under. So that's just another form of gentrification, and it's redevelopment. So he's getting into the redevelopment market of real estate, which is very lucrative, and he's connected with Wells Fargo, which bottom line, is not helping Black people. It's not going to help anybody in his congregation, and I'm pretty sure his church is not in a Black area. It's probably isolated, with no homes around it, but he's I think he's proved himself time and time again. He's just out for self, just like many preachers are. They're the new pimps. So yeah. And then as far as y'all talk about Hunter Biden, honey, like this man always been on drugs probably since he was a teenager. And Secret Service, they only thing they do, they don't care what they do. They just make sure nobody isn't harming them. So they probably go with him on these drug runs. Or sneaking a drug dealers in his house or whatever, but who gives a damn about Hunter Biden? Because he's white trash. And how did the conversation turn from white trash Hunter Biden to Honduran overseas?
I don't know.
I think just before, let me just say my last little 30-second. I think this thing with Twitter Space, first of all, Twitter Space is way better than the Clubhouse. Clubhouse are the projects. But one of the problems I have with Twitter Space, people need to learn how to stay on topic, because I had a Twitter Space earlier today, and a couple people got offended, and they want to talk about Aboriginals, and they created a whole nother space about me and the judge calling me a coon, blah, 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 because I didn't let them talk about Aboriginals. That's not the topic. So I just think we just need to stay on the topic, even though the conversation may develop into other things, but as long as it's under the umbrella of the topic. Passport Bros has nothing to do with none of the topics tonight. Sorry.
All right,
that's my little sense.
Thank you, Dana.
I'm going to start a space later on, and it's going to be called Dana and the Caucasoid Hand. Now,
leave my hand alone. It matches my shirt in the picture.
That's one thing I keep telling everybody in the space. Let's go ahead and, I'm just going to have to be more forceful with it and just like, hey, insist that we stay on topic, because we end up, and a lot of times we have 3-4 topics we can be discussing, and then all of a sudden we veer off and go way over here. So yeah, that's the only thing too, is that people, sometimes, like you say, things may create other topics, but then we got to go ahead and start bringing it back as well too. So I don't even know. I forgot how we got on that, but we got on it, but we definitely don't want to get on it no more. So let me give a shout out to Aunt Lai for her contribution on Cash App as well too. Miss T, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Newstoter, DJ, Professor, thank you all for hosting the space. Good evening to everybody in the room. Shouts out to you. Happy Tuesday. Love you all. did hear T.D. Jakes, one of the income properties will be down here in Atlanta at an old Army base called Fort McPherson, which is not far away from Tyler Perry's studio. So it'll be on the south side of Atlanta.
Here's what I found.
Sorry about that. It will be poor whites, is what he said. Poor whites, brown people, and African Americans in this community. Now, not a lot of whites live on the south side of Atlanta. So this thing, the white people that do own property in Atlanta, they rent them out. They like, Airbnbs and stuff like that. So this is going to be interesting to see poor white people. And again, this is them integrating, making Atlanta less less black. Because I think now we're down to like maybe 56, 55% majority white in the city of Atlanta. So it is definitely working against us. Mickey D, I didn't hear what you all said about that. So I'll catch that on the replay. Hunter Biden, as someone has already said, that why are we even talking about Hunter Biden? I mean, he's just poor white trash. He just comes from a wealthy family.
Because of the crack laws of this country are still on the books. He smoked a crack on tape, and he had a lot of crack, so why he ain't in jail? You know what I'm saying? And the president's son, you would be ashamed, Joe Biden.
Well, who's pushing it? Even the Republicans are. They're quiet. They're silent. So why are they so quiet? Because that's a perfect opportunity.
Locked up. They want him locked up on the bike. They be going ham on him.
I haven't heard any of the senators or anything pushing for him to be locked up. The little commutators that are on the news channels or opinion channels. I hear them, but I don't see anybody trying to push it. I guess because they all as kids in their family, and if you push Hunter Biden out there, they could come back and say, "Oh, what about your sleazy ass daughter? We'll put her ass on trial too." So I don't know. I would like to see something happen. I really would. And God, Black Pressure, is he still in here? Black Pressure.
I think he dropped down.
Okay, I just have so much love and respect him. I like how eloquent with his build up to his complete destruction of a topic. It is just well thought out, well laid out, very, very great thing. And when speaking about Hunter and the baby, I don't know if you all know, but the Brett and her wife are expecting a baby, and she released today that the donor is a white man. They did not have a black man. She said they didn't have black male donors, sperm donors to choose from because y'all ain't giving up y'all.
I skied in the brat. Why she ain't call me? See that? I was busy. I must have missed that call.
I mean, she's cool with Mariah Carey. I'm sure they could have worked something out with Nick Cannon. I mean, but I digress.
He like white girls.
Well, Okay, and Baby Bill, Newstoter, if you could tell me what Baby Bill is, I would appreciate it. And again, thank you to everyone in the space.
It's just basically that he's trying to get his child support lowered. Basically, he's trying to. He said he pays $750,000. He's paying $20,000 a month, so he's trying to get his child support lowered. That's pretty much what it is.
Oh, Hunter?
Yes. Yeah, he's trying to get his child support lowered.
Who he getting on?
All right, Miss T. You sound like you might be caught up in the matrix, but thank you, Miss T. Let me go ahead and get to Rella. Rella, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Newstoter, DJ, Perfector. How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, what's up now?
What's up, sister? How you doing?
So, I actually posted the video TD Jakes went on CBS and did, where he was talking about Wells Fargo and in the anchor that was on there with Gail, because she seemed like she didn't want to ask the hard questions, but the white guy that was on there, he was like not having it. He said, "So you working with Wells Fargo after all of what they did to a lot of the Black American customers, and opening up accounts, as you guys heard, other people have spoke on and stuff like that." And listen, I understand it's business for him. He didn't get to be a mega church without, running the whole business. And if church is a business, when you're talking about T.D. Jakes and Osteen, finding all these millions of dollars stuck in his church wall. So when you look at people like this, I always think of, the false prophet quote out of the Bible, because you see someone and remember, these are mega churches that never took their own money to fully invest into the economies in which they serve. And so I always had an issue with mega churches in the surrounding area, because I always felt like, well, if all the money is coming into the church house, even if they're getting money from organizations, that money should be reinvested into the communities that actually support the church. That keeps a centrifugal force going on to actually help build up the area around the church, which brings in more money as the value goes up. The problem that I have is people thinking that just because, you're looking at a suburban area, that the suburban area doesn't have drugs running through it, when they do. So just to say, okay, him making the comment, well, lower income brings drugs and all this other stuff, I'm thinking to myself, well, actually, it's the people who are in the lower income housing having to choose to do drugs and things like that to sell to make more money, instead of them putting in resources to get people off of the wave of, okay, well, this is the best way of going about things, is to bring drugs into this community. Because if you had a low income property, and if he had the mindset of a pastor to take care of any of the properties around his church, it wouldn't be an issue of low income housing getting resources. Wells Fargo, to me, they stated that he stated on the video that they're trying to make up for their past degradation and pretty much economic genocide of theft. And I don't believe it. I'm really upset at the fact that he didn't even try to go to any Black-owned banks to try to do business with a Black-owned bank. There was a Black woman, I think her name is Bernicia. She was working with Earn Your Leisure. She was talking about how she just bought a bank. There's another woman who put in $100 million for a bank that she just invested in. Why aren't these Black pastors who get Black American money working with Black people in their banks? And so it just seems a bit odd to me. Again, this is kind of one of those deals that they're going to get FDI insured. They're going to be able to get government funding. He knows it. It's a win-win for him and Wells Fargo, but it is going to be a loss for the Black American community because they're going to try to use this to push Black Americans out of that area, and it's really sad.
Hey, brother, post that Learn Your Leisure video.
Learn Your Leisure. Oh, with the lady. Okay. The Mickey D's situation with what's his name?
Al Sharpton.
Yeah, thank you. My brain's running a little slow. Al Sharpton. Yeah, I'm with you, Newstoter. He should have just, if he was gonna go ahead and do it, he should have just went ahead and do it. But Al Sharpton again, they've been in this, kind of activism for profit situation, and I don't think he's gonna change his stripes. Hunter Biden, it's so sad. I don't know, you can't even call him the black sheep, because if you notice, when Bo was alive, Biden didn't really talk about Hunter. Yep, I said it. When Bo was alive, Biden didn't talk about Hunter. He always talked about his son, member in the military, and he always talked about how his son served the country and gave his life, and cancer, you know what I'm saying? He never really talked about Hunter. Hunter must have been always the black sheep of the family. And it's so sad because, you got a lot of white kids out there in broken homes. And all they do is, they got parents that treat them like ish. And Biden don't seem like the type of, I'm a cuddle with you type dad. I mean, he cuddles, but not that way. More pedo-like. So, what can you say? That's why between him and Trump's kids, the White House really is looking like trash. It's not even like the honor of the White House is not even there no more. If you think about Trump's children and Biden's kids, it's kind of like the Hillbilly Hotel. That's what it looks like to me. You can't even take the White House serious no more, because when you think about it, it's just kind of one of those things like, damn, white people are ghetto as hell. And the baby bill, is that the same thing, the baby bill?
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Okay, well, y'all need to speak on it. I agree with Miss T. She was right. His ass, he trying to get out of child support, but they got the nerve to talk about black men don't want to pay child support. And he look at him. He a crackhead and he a man talking about he don't want to pay child support. And didn't Biden tell him to go take his ass to court and deny the baby at first?
That ain't my baby, Dad. That ain't my baby.
Yeah. Biden said,
well, he tried, but the DNA test said otherwise.
Yes, because he was trying to get him not to do it. And I remember that when that came out, and I said, damn, they are ghetto.
Hey, Rella, that's why he had his father listed in his phone as Pedo Joe. Damn.
Oh, my God. I'm just saying. Think about it. These are the people that represent it's supposed to be the greatest position in our country, is the president. That is supposed to be one of the most honorable careers, position that you could get in life. And that shit looks like, I wouldn't even be like, no, don't you want to be a president? Not really. Like, if I was a kid, bring your grandfather to work day, your dad to work day, what they gonna say? Oh, my dad was a crackhead and he smoked crack and he was in the middle of espionage with another country. Like, come on. Yeah, no thank you.
My mom was a prostitute too, as well. That's what they're gonna say.
Oh yeah, for Trump's kids. Yeah. Yeah, no. That's what I love about
Hunter Biden, his baby mama that he talking about now, she a prostitute.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, white folks they be growing the White House.
That's why he denied. You can't have a baby out of wedlock in the Biden family.
That so sucks. They ruined the White House. They did. So I'm gonna just leave that there, and I'll land. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Let me go ahead and get to no taxation. We're gonna get to no taxation. We'll get to Denise and Buffy, and then we'll go ahead and we'll close the space out for the night, I guess. Go ahead, no taxation. You got it.
Can I just say something to Rella? Rella, the White House was ruined after the black folks built it and white folks moved in. That's all.
Yes, there you go. They didn't see. They didn't trash that.
I'm just laughing. Y'all are so funny to me. Rella.
Yes.
The heads up was really when Clint got his blowjob underneath the desk in the Oval Office.
Gee, you're right. Oh my God, the white folks been trashing the white folks.
Y'all should have known then it was gone. The hillbillies had moved in. The white trash had moved in back in. Let's put it like that. Miss T said something that is really powerful to me. She said that they're looking to develop that land over there by Tyler Perry Studios. Now let's talk about some good game, okay? T.D. Jakes is doing movies now, and so maybe he's doing some placemaking like these major corporations are doing. Major corporations, people call it gentrification, but they don't do gentrification anymore because everything is gentrified. What they're doing is placemaking. So what they do is develop land that's not developed, or move everybody out, tear stuff down, and redevelop it. All that kind of stuff, and then they move the people in so that they can come and work on the plantation. Maybe that's what he's doing. I call it the plantation. They call it the corporation, but maybe that's what they're doing over there. I am surprised that he's not doing anything surrounding his church or anything like that, or even in the Oak Cliff area, where the black folks live, out there in Dallas. Maybe he couldn't get in. Maybe the white folks didn't want him over there in Oak Cliff because they got a good thing going, sucking the money out of black folks' pockets out there. It's hard to get into those places. Baltimore should show us that. But I find it very interesting that he's going out there by Tyler Perry Studios and develop some stuff out there and putting people out there. And there's people hurting right there in Dallas. There's people hurting everywhere. And maybe he couldn't. Maybe he feels like he needs to move out of Texas. I don't know, but I think this is deeper than what we see on the surface. So that's going to be real interesting to find out. And thank you for that information, Ms. T. And I'm gonna leave it there.
All right. Thank you, no taxation. Let me go ahead and get to Denise. Denise, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello, family. I hope everyone is having a good time and not too much havoc is going on in your life. I just wanted to drop my $5 because I ain't 2 cents. My $5 in on here in terms of our holy men. That's right, I love them together because for all the stuff that either one of them have done, they've had opportune times to help our community, and they have not, and have decided to get into bed with people who are notoriously racist and the whole 9 yards. So right there, you're not staring the Kool-Aid for me. Okay, reports about McDonald's and their racist acts and the whole 9 yards have been coming in for years. You telling me now, Al, you want to be concerned? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with DK. Really? All the people standing around in the other areas, and this is what you do, and with a known racist. So to me, as far as they're looking out for black people, I'll put that, as my mother would say, through an eye of a needle, and that ain't very much. They don't hold any weight with me at all, In terms of Joe Biden, I don't know which one of the sisters who was in here saying that, but I agree. Why the fuck, excuse my language, are we talking about Biden? And I understand about the laws and the whole 9 yards, but we all know the reason why he ain't in jail. Let's all not kid ourselves. We know why he's not in jail, and and why he and folks like him are allowed to run rapid, okay? They are rolling around here now talking about the fentanyl and the whole 9 yards. Well, anybody who grew up in that era already knows that while they was busy making sure they highlight and spotlight the crack epidemic in the black neighborhoods, meth and fentanyl was going on at the same damn time. That's so when stuff happens to them as a result of that, cry me a effing river. I don't care. Okay? I have no sympathy for Hunter Biden, him, his baby's mama, and his baby. Sound like a personal problem. Okay? There's just nothing there of substance for me to say, wow, that's bad. And what Sister No Taxation said is true. The White House was ruined the moment they put their bags up in there. So anything that goes on in that house over there, okay. So, it's a personal problem. I look at the things and I see the double standards. We all have seen the double standards over the years, and so I just have no sympathy at all. Oh man, thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Appreciate it. Let me go ahead and get to Buffy. Buffy, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you, Newstoter. I just wanted to add this real quick. Like everyone has said, it is a business, and sometimes, because they're preaching the word, we get distracted, and sometimes we're easy prey because we're the most desperate. Like I said earlier, I remember when Joel Osteen, they flooded down there. He wouldn't even open his doors for his church. He didn't even open the doors to the church until that shit went viral. And I mean, these are the people in his community he wouldn't open the doors for. And I mean, I know that's not TV, but it's the same business. It's the same lane, And I know a lot of these mega churches have a lot of wealthy people that attend them, but most of their congregation is just regular people paying their tithes, just regular people. So you would think that they would invest the most money in the surrounding area. So, yeah, I just wanted to add that real quick.
All right. Thank you, Buffy. Thank you. And I appreciate everybody who came up and who's a speaker tonight. Thank you guys so much. The space definitely had its twists and turns to it tonight, but once again, it was still a pretty good space for the most part. So shout out to the hosts and the co-hosts, the speakers, the listeners. Shout out to everybody. I was just about to close the space out, sister, so I'll let you come up here for a minute because I'm getting ready to close the space out for the night. I'll go ahead and let you come up here for a minute, and then we're getting ready to go ahead and close it out for the night. I saw she was coming up here, but I guess she must have dropped back down. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and let you get up in here for a minute, 1 minute, and then I'm closing this space out for the night. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a minute to go ahead and get it in.
Oh, sorry, brother. I was chowing down on this delicious food I just got from Charleston, South Carolina today. But the sister is right, in regards to TD Jakes and all of these mega church people. Like, they just trying to come up. You got the Creflo Dollar with the ATM in his church. I seen it for myself, and if you poll his congregation, the average income in his congregation is about $24,000. You gotta. They want your pay stubs and everything. You gotta make a certain amount of money to even sit in a row, a certain row in a certain pew, so you can be on the camera. It's just ridiculous. I just don't understand how we continue to allow these people to do what they do to our people. But I guess the saying goes, people only do to you what you allow them to do to you. So on that note, brother, I appreciate you again. I've been here listening, but I'm driving. But I wanted to say something real quick. And
let you know that I appreciate you, and I hope you have a good night. And thank you for the space.
All right. Thank you, sister. Thank you. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. So definitely check the notifications. If you see it, please go ahead and retweet it out as well. Too. A retweet doesn't cost anything. So if you guys see it and you see it, go ahead and just tweet it out. That definitely helps. And on that note, DJ, Professor, y'all want to say something real quick before we go ahead and close it out?
Come over to the liquor store. Come over to the liquor store. Hashtag TLS Music. Hashtag TLS Music. See you over there.
All right.
Just say, great space tonight, everybody. Remember to continue to try to uplift each other, encourage each other, and let's do what we can to empower this movement that we are in right now. And the Hunter Biden situation, as far as I'm concerned, he can kiss my ass. His dad didn't kiss my ass. But family, this is all about us. The hell with all these other folks. And that's what I'm going to say right there.
All right. On that note, y'all, we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Everybody have a good one. Be safe and peace.